Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Florida.
Remember the old days. Sun Life, Mermaids, Little Billy, knucklehead announcers, and a max effort right-hander. That was then. Tonight, Brad Penny steps into the now, into Marlins Park. His first start in South Florida as a fish since '04. The Marlins are hot. Brad Penny gets the ball, and Arizona is in town. Miami tonight. Bring the boat in. Walk on in. Marlins Park. Diamondbacks are here. It's a 4-game series. Marlins just winners of 2 of 3, coming on to a 4-game set here. The Snakes are in town. And I guess if we're going to throw back, maybe Pokemon can make an appearance in the bullpen as well. Chase Anderson getting ready to go. And yes, it is Brad Penny. First time in a Marlins uniform in Miami since 2004. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz, Tommy Hutton. Yeah, we were the knucklehead announcers in that. And since it's a throwback night, we figured we'd bring one of Brad Penny's old teammates in. Carl Pavano joins us. 3-man booth. Let's start about Brad Penny. Penny in Cincinnati got the win. 5 innings. What did you see? What did you expect?
You know, I expected him to be a little anxious. There's no doubt about it. He was reaching back for a little more than it was there. I mean, it's awful exciting, obviously, the position he's in to come back with an older team and a playoff on top of it to boot. But, you know, with those 2 years off, I've told him, be patient with yourself. You're going to have to go out and be aggressive. You know, the walks, I'm sure, bothered him a little bit, the 4 walks. But, you know, he's got a great competitive nature about him. He brings out the best in people. He's going to be great for this staff, and he's going to have a lot of fun.
Now, Huddy's going up against Chase Anderson. Miami saw him in Arizona.
Yeah, he pitched very well, and he got a lot of support. The Diamondbacks won that game 9-1. The key for Chase Anderson, who's making his 15th Major League start, his last 5 starts, an ERA of 1.74. His best pitch is his changeup. Here's the key, though, is he faces Brad Penny. Brad Penny is 10-3 lifetime against the D-backs.
Opportunity for the Fish guys with Arizona in for 4.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They've been, and like we talked about, they've been playing good against teams that they needed to, and this is a team they need to right away.
And Hud, here's how the pitchers line up rest of the series.
Yeah, I think Brad Hand certainly wants a rebound after his last outing, and certainly we're all looking forward to Henderson Alvarez after he comes off the disabled list, and Jared Cozart was absolutely tremendous in his 7 innings against St. Louis.
Marlins with an opportunity here, a 4-game set. It starts tonight. Diamondbacks in town. The Snakes have arrived. Miami and Arizona coming up. Field, Craig Minervini, Jeff Conine.
Rich, the Marlins have won 15 of 24. Didn't pull off the sweep against St. Louis, but now you got Arizona, Texas, and Colorado, 3 teams that are struggling. You still got to go out and do your job. And the wild card standings and the East standings, the Marlins have a chance to make a little noise here as we head toward the end of August.
Well, with their good play post All-Star break, the Miami Marlins have put themselves in this playoff picture now. 4.5 games out of the wild card spot, and there's 2 spots available. So with some good play in these upcoming series, they could hopefully leapfrog some teams and get closer going to the last month of the season.
Absolutely. And today, Pittsburgh already lost to Detroit, and Atlanta already lost to Los Angeles. That's good news because both of those teams obviously are in front of Miami in the wild card rankings. Now, as for the next 3, you got Arizona coming up here for the first of 4. Then it's the Texas Rangers. They've been struggling. And then you've got Colorado as you look ahead. The last 3 series, a little tougher. The Marlins fared well there, winning 5 of the 9.
Yeah, 3 of the worst records in the National League at the bottom there, Arizona, Texas, and the Rockies. But the Marlins can't get complacent and think, hey, we've got this made because we're playing teams that don't have very good records. These guys could beat them on any given night. But a great time to catch up some ground.
Absolutely. Miami, 4.5 back of the wild card. Good chance to move up if they can take some wins here in this Arizona series before Texas comes in next Tuesday. Rich, Tommy, Carl Pavano ready to call Brad Penny's home debut, 2014 style, first time in 10 years, pitching for the home team in Miami. Next.
Arizona, Marlins, and Diamondbacks ready to go. Marlins baseball on Fox Sports Florida tonight, brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places by AT&T U-verse TV. Find out what's possible with AT&T. 1-800-AT&T. Pick mobilizing your world. By Checkers. Checkers brings big flavor for a small price. Feed your craving for quality for only $1. Cha-ching. And by your South Florida Honda dealers and sfhondadealers.com. Night falling in Miami. The Marlins, taking 2 of 3 from the Cardinals, turn their sights on Arizona. Just 4.5 back in the wild card, and turning back the clock with Brad Penny. 2004, the last time he started in Miami as a Marlin. Obviously, it was in a football stadium. Marlins Park was a long ways away from happening. But here he is. His first Major League start and win since September 25th, 2011 came in Cincinnati. Tommy Hutney lasted just the 5 innings. 4 hits, though. He really managed the game.
Yeah, I think the area that was a concern of his was the 4 walks in the 5 innings, and he realized he didn't have the command that he would like to have. He hopes that's better tonight. The other difference in this start here in South Florida, it was raining earlier. If he was up at the old football stadium, he might have been in a delay right now, but he's starting right on time.
Beautiful thing.
Ender Inciarte turns and takes inside, and we're underway. Pinch Penny bringing you that first pitch. Inciarte in center, Cliff Pennington, David Peralta in right. This is a Diamondback lineup that has been massaged and made over and subtracted from trading deadline. Martin Prado, Gerardo Parra shipped out. Injuries: A.J. Pollock, Chris Owings, Cody Ross, and of course the latest, Paul Goldschmidt. Inciarte in center field, and Penny has missed on all 3. Carl Pavano, you had an injury in your career where you were out for almost a couple of seasons. What's that like getting back on the mound after that?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the reps. You got to get out there, and you got to have healthy repetitions. And this is where he's at right now in his stage of his comeback, where he's missed 2 years, and he's coming back and needs to go out there and throw and be in this competitive atmosphere and just keep moving forward. You know, 1 start at a time, 1 pitch at a time.
Diamondbacks lineup brought to you by JM Lexus. Inciarte is now at first. Cliff Pennington, David Peralta, big Mark Trumbo back, and he's at first. Miguel Montero, Jake Lamb just up, the rookie, Didi Gregorius, Xavier Paul, and Chase Anderson. Gregorius has been playing the heck out of shortstop. This series will feature 2 of the better defensive shortstops in the National League, Gregorius and Adeiny Echeverria. And Penny gets his first strike. Cliff Pennington, the switch-hitting second baseman.
Diamondbacks don't run a lot, but one of the guys that will is Inciarte, who's at first base.
7 stolen bases, not a big lead. And Penny misses away. Paul Emmel's calling balls and strikes. Chris Conroy, Jordan Baker, Jerry Meals out there on the bases.
This would be a nice time for a ground ball right here with this lefty. 1-1 count. I'm sure he's swinging. The one thing about Brad, he's missed down, which is good. He's not missing up. He's not finding the strike zone, but he's missing down.
And he was a pitcher, Carl, when he was on the top of his game, when he had that 97-mile-an-hour fastball, he was a pitcher who could pitch up in the zone.
Exactly. And he's actually on a different side of the rubber. When he was younger, he was on this first base side of the rubber because he just would pepper the outside corner. I think with losing a little velocity, moving to that right side gives you a little more angle, a little more deception. And your margin for error isn't the same when you're throwing low 90s compared to upper, high 90s. So it gives him a little more advantage.
David Peralta and then Mark Trumbo. The Diamondbacks had a long day in Cleveland. They split a doubleheader. Lost the first, won the second. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Snap throw down to second. Pennington strikes out. Inciarte steals second base. And so that's the exchange for the Marlins. The Diamondbacks have a runner in scoring position.
Well, a couple of things here. Tough pitch to throw a runner out on, and the other part of it is Inciarte got a really good jump. So he picks up his 8th stolen base of the year.
Marlins have been through a few years like this where you have a team beset by injuries, and then you have a lot of rookies up and playing. One of the guys that they've been able to get a look at that they really like is David Peralta, their right fielder.
You really get a chance to look at a lot of these guys with the opportunities that have been open, and you see what your future could bring, what guys maybe are expendable now because some guys step in. Sometimes it opens the door for a lot of guys in organizations with these opportunities on injuries.
I think the 2 key guys they're looking at, Rich and Carl, David Peralta, as you mentioned, and Jake Lamb, third baseman, also getting an opportunity.
Kirk Gibson, Alan Trammell, teammates, of course, on that World Championship Detroit Tigers team. Gibson in his 5th year, liner to right. Stanton is there, makes the catch, tagging is Inciarte, and he's on his way to third. And so Mark Trumbo gets a shot with a runner at third and 2 outs just underway. And here's the defense brought to you by Ram.
All right, we'll check it out with Yelich, Ozuna, and Stanton in the outfield. Casey McGee, Danny Echeverria, and Rich hit it on the head. A couple of outstanding shortstops in this series. Donovan Solano with the start tonight. Garrett Jones and Salty behind the plate.
You know, when this season started, there were such high hopes for the Diamondbacks when they were all healthy. Goldschmidt, Trumbo in the lineup. You had Arroyo in that rotation. They had lost Patrick Corbin right around the start of the season. 2 starting pitchers for the Tommy John surgery. And it all kind of went south from there. The injuries, the trades. And a strike to Trumbo.
A guy Rich traded off who just seemed to absolutely, I think he was on the all Marlins killer team, was Martin Prado. So the Marlins won't have to deal with Prado in this series.
Yeah, when he was in this division, you guys got a good look at him quite a bit every year.
He was good for usually 2 or 3 walk-off hits against the Marlins as a Brave, and he hit the Marlins well in his short stay with the Diamondbacks. Penny with the count 1-1.
Much different baseball for him going from the National League East to the American League East.
Inciarte, the runner at third. It's interesting. We showed the highlights, guys, of Brad Penny throwing in the old ballpark 11, 12 years ago. Max, he put the max in max effort.
Yeah, he did. And when you're young, you could afford to get away with a little bit of extra energy. At 35, 36, you need to conserve that energy, because when it comes to 6th or 7th inning, you need to reach back. You want it to be there.
Well, he's smart, and that's exactly why he was able to work out of some of the jams he was in Cincinnati and only give up the 2 runs, 1 earned run.
Penny, who went to camp with Kansas City, was released in spring training. 1-2. Jam shot, he muscles it into shallow left, and it's going to fall for a base hit.
Boy, a perfect pitch too.
Yeah, just fought it off. It's one of those pitches where if it's in and it's a little up, a little too much to a guy with the strength like that, they're going to fight it off into left field. And dropped in a spot that neither guy could get to. One of those perfect spots.
And Trumbo is strong, and a lot of hitters, this ball's a pop up to the shortstop.
Yep, or a broken bat.
So Trumbo delivers the first run of the night, an RBI single to left, and all-star catcher Miguel Montero climbs in. Montero named to the all-star team when Yadier Molina exited with an injury.
The thing that Brad's going to be upset about the most, though, is the leadoff walk, because it's that leadoff walk that came in to score.
Leadoff walks will kill you, no doubt about it. As a starting pitcher, you'd rather have a single than a leadoff walk. They always find ways to score.
He's 2-0 right now on Montero. 62 runs driven in. Montero now 31, his 5th consecutive year as a starting catcher for the Diamondbacks, and it was his 2nd all-star appearance. He was also on that all-star team in 2011. Penny misses outside, and he's 3-0. He's got it surrounded.
Yeah, he does. He's feeling for it a little bit right now.
Trumbo on the run. Solano on the outfield grass makes a nice play.
Wow, 3-0. Swinging 3-0 right there.
Swinging and running 3-0. 1-0 Diamondbacks. Marlins Park. Arizona on the board first. And Miami's lineup looks this way. It's brought to you by JM Lexus. Christian Yelich in the leadoff spot. Donovan Solano the start at second, hits second. Giancarlo Stanton in right. Casey McGee's been hot, and he has hit well against the Diamondbacks in his career. Garrett Jones slotted fifth in front of Jared Saltalamacchia. Marcell Ozuna slumping right now. He's been dropped to 7. Danny Echeverria having a solid year in the 8th spot, and Brad Penny hits 9th. And Marlins didn't do a whole lot of hitting against Chase Anderson when they saw him earlier this year.
No, earlier in the year in the desert in Arizona, 6 innings, 7 hits, just 1 run. He beat Tom Kohler in that game. He's on quite a run right now as Chase Anderson. His last 5 starts, he's gone 6 or more innings and given up 2 runs or less. So he's been really consistent over those last 5.
And so Anderson gets set to work against Christian Yelich on a night where baseball has a new commissioner. Rob Manfred was elected the 10th commissioner of Major League Baseball. He will succeed Bud Selig in January. Manfred, 55 years old, and certainly intimately involved in the labor negotiations, drug testing, all of that in the previous 15 years for Major League Baseball. And a first pitch misses outside to Yelich. Yelich, Donovan Solano, and Giancarlo Stanton. The Marlins at 59 and 61, trying to draw within a game of 500. Anderson goes 2-0.
You know, with change, you wonder what kind of changes Manfred will bring into baseball. I know there's been a lot of changes over the years with replay. You wonder if they're going to revisit some of that stuff, maybe clean some of it up. I know a lot of us have some issues with some of the things that have gone on that have cost, especially the Marlins, some ball games.
You're right. It's a passing of the torch, and we'll see. Manfred, by all accounts, has done a nice job in handling labor deals, the drug testing, the crisis of the Dodgers bankruptcy, stuff like that. I know Tommy's candidacy as a commissioner was
actually shut down rather quickly.
Derailed.
Short-lived. He didn't get the email. He forgot to check his email that day.
It's really hard to go up against the chief operating officer of Major League Baseball, too. Right. So, but I think there'll be some changes. He's not going to jump right in and make changes before Bud Selig's cleaned out his office.
Oh, I'm sure.
But there'll be some things, yeah.
Yelich with the count 3-2. What's new? And he smacks a grounder up the middle. Gregorius spinning, throwing, and out. And the Marlins will look at it. Yelich didn't put up much of an argument. We told you Gregorius has been playing terrific shortstop. So has Echeverria. And Didi Gregorius shows this one off.
Boy, there's that pick, and then just pops up. Because he popped up that way, he got a nice pick on the other end from Trumbo as well. He was able to get enough on the throw to just get Yelich.
The difference maker on that is the arm on that young man. Without that arm, he's a step ahead of through the bag. That was a great play.
Replays indicate a good call by Chris Conroy. It's a tough call for an umpire anytime the ball's in the dirt and it's bang bang. That actually adds an extra bang, so it's bang bang bang. Here's Solano now, earning himself a start. He's been swinging a nice bat. Bit of a rough ride for Valdespin last night with a couple of errors at second. Of course, Solano had the big home run against Adam Wainwright when Miami beat Wainwright and the Cardinals in Game 2 nights ago, 3-0.
And we've talked about it, the revolving door at second base. And I think if you're solid defensively, get a few base hits the way Solano has, he may see himself in there a little bit more. And Valdespin will get back in there, certainly. Gives you a left-handed bat.
I think Valdespin, his versatility that could put him in the outfield, could give Solano some extra spots at second base when those outfield spots open up.
Nice play. Look at that, straight from work. Hutt had the slacks on, the dress shirt going.
Left the coat and tie in the car.
Nice. Didn't need a glove, didn't need a cap.
Silky smooth right there. Nice souvenir.
1-2. And a breaking ball spins inside. Chase Anderson's 26. 9th round pick by the Diamondbacks out of the University of Oklahoma. Grew up in Wichita Falls, Texas. And strike 3 called. And Solano is out number 2. And Anderson has been on a real nice roll in his last 5 starts.
Dropped in a breaking ball there to freeze Donovan Solano.
Yeah, we talked about that changeup early in the game. I'm assuming when left-handers will get a better look at it, because not many guys throw many changeups right on right, but that was a nice curveball in a good spot.
Marlins don't have a lot of left-handed options in their lineup. Stanton takes outside. On the other hand, tonight Kirk Gibson has got his lineup stacked with the lefty bats and switch hitters.
Not a lot of options left-handed on the bench either.
Stanton takes away Giancarlo. Kirk Gibson certainly can appreciate the season that Stanton is having. 31 homers, 82 driven in. That one catches the outside corner. It's 2-1. Stanton in the series against the Cardinals had 2 hits, or just 2 hits, but they were both homers. That one sounded like he busted his bat. Yeah. It's in the gap. Over for it, and picking it up is Xavier Paul. Stanton has a single. 2 out at bat now for Casey McGee.
Looks like they're trying to pitch him backwards. 2-1 fastball in. Stayed up just enough for Mr. Stanton to get a nice piece of wood on it.
Well, we talked about Trumbo's base hit because he's so strong. Stanton, the same thing. Pitch was in, didn't hit it all that hard, but still was able to get it into left field. The bat just shatters.
That time, though, the bat head stayed attached. We've seen so many times Stanton this year on a swing like that will bust the bat, and the bat head flies back all the way to the screen. Now McGee, who was on a nice little roll after getting his day off. He's 11 for his last 24 after that day off. Ball and a strike. Mike Redmond saw him and just felt on the road trip he needed a day to just sit down and not worry about anything.
This is one of those things that Mike Redmond was thinking about for about a week, but he wanted to pick the right day.
It's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I think he did.
Good decision by Mike.
McGee pops it foul and out of play. What do we got with Chase Anderson?
That would check the scouting report. Big breaking curve. We saw that to strike out Solano. He has the best changeup in the organization, from what scouting reports tell us. His fastball not overpowering. We've seen the fastball 88 to 91, so he has to have in and out pinpoint control with the fastball.
And you could see him working these right-handed hitters inside with the fastball quite a bit. I'd say 80% of his fastballs have been in, and he's trying to expand away with his breaking stuff.
And McGee, strike 3 called. Drops the bat. Has a few words for Paul Emmel. Chase Anderson looks sharp. That's right down the middle.
West Kendall Toyota.
In Miami tonight, Arizona's off to a 1-0 start. And as we told you, Major League Baseball, come January, will have a new commissioner, the 10th commissioner in baseball history, Rob Manfred. He's been the COO of Major League Baseball since 2013, but for the last 15 years, he's been involved in the nuts and bolts and some big issues: labor relations, drug testing, Cornell University, Harvard Law. That's the news tonight. First conference held. Jake Lamb up. Lamb, big left-handed hitter out of the University of Washington, and one of the Diamondbacks' top prospects, getting a shot at third. Didi Gregorius and Xavier Paul will follow.
Rich, I think one of the keys in talking about Rob Manfred, you hit it on the head. He's been involved because of his position over the last number of years. He's been involved in all the things that have gone on.
Carl is an ex-player, and especially one that just came out of the game. Labor relations between the players and the teams and Major League Baseball, to me, it seems to be at an all-time high.
Yeah.
And along with harsher penalties for drug testing, it seems like that Grand Canyon that used to divide the players and the owners has been.
That's a good way to put it, Rich. I was just thinking that when drug testing came in, that kind of started to bridge the gap between the, the commissioner side, the owner side, and the player side. And it's important now that the communication and the dialogue they're having is to better the game, and it really has in many ways. And I think Manfred being in there, being the guy that has the experience and has a lot of relationships with both sides, I think that could do nothing but help the game as well.
Count 1-2 to Jake Lamb. Now Brad Penny gets a strikeout, opens up the second.
That's the kind of pinpoint control he needs.
And he's moving the ball around well. He came out aggressive, got ahead of this guy right away, got him off the plate, kind of got him leaning, and then came back in. Good sequence by him and Salty right there.
Yeah, I think as you watch, the velocities of both Brad Penny and Chase Anderson are similar.
Yeah, they are.
Neither, Penny used to throw harder, but Anderson's a control guy himself.
That first pitch is so important, that first pitch strike, because it really opens up the count for the pitcher to go to his strength or expand the zone or try to set him up for another pitch. That first pitch strike is such an important pitch.
Didi Gregorius, who made the terrific play on Yelich's ball. One thing about both shortstops playing in this game, they're used to playing on fast surfaces. Arizona and Miami have the two fastest natural surfaces in baseball.
Really?
We could say for sure in the National League, Texas is pretty swift in the American League.
We'll have to ask Perry Hill on that tomorrow. That's our homework assignment for tonight.
I'm sure nothing compares to those days in the Expos, Tommy, on that turf with
the old
seams.
turf. Yeah, the old turf in some of those fields. That could get pretty quick, too.
Right.
If you were a ground ball pitcher and you pitched there.
I did pitch there, and it was all about positioning. And I had really good infield. It's about, give that guy the extra step.
Jones is down to get it, and he'll beat Gregorius to the bag.
Well, you certainly did have those starts that balls got through.
America's new sports network. Place the term for every slam, every goal, every game. America's pregame only on Fox Sports 1. Streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Tune into America's pregame weeknights, 6 Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1. To find Fox Sports 1, your cable satellite provider, go to foxsports1.com. Now, Pavi, when you were in Montreal, there's Jose. He was with us last night.
Who said he wanted to watch Brad Penny tonight.
Pavi, when you were in Montreal, Perry Hill there at that time?
No, it was weird. I'm trying to think of the infield guys I had there. Now, I'm not sure, but Perry was here when I got traded over here in 2002 from Montreal. And
who was your shortstop? Will Cordero?
No, Orlando Cabrera.
Orlando Cabrera, yeah, Gold Glover.
Great. Yep. We had Vidro at second. Shane Andrews for a while at third. Brad Fulmer at first. This is young.
Xavier Paul takes outside, and it's 2-0.
Very young team. When I came up with Montreal, that was when the Marlins were a very young team as well. After their 1997 World Series, and their team kind of got stripped there. So we were two teams in the National League East that were very young teams.
Then he's 2-0, and a tapper out to Solano. Oh, Brad Penny, a bounce back inning in the second. Arizona has a 1-0 lead. Marlins and Diamondbacks. Game 1 tonight, Game 2 tomorrow, and it's fireworks tomorrow night. Fans 21 and older can enjoy $4 domestic beers, and that's happy hour at the Budweiser Bowtie Bar, 5:30 to 6:30. After the game, fireworks display presented by Duffy Sports Grill. Go to Marlins.com for tickets. There's your Bowtie Bar tonight.
They get ready for every one of Giancarlo's at-bats.
That's right, free beers when Giancarlo goes up there, and he's gone up there a few times this year. Garrett Jones, Jared Saltalamacchia, and Marcell Ozuna against Chase Anderson, who has been one of the hotter pitchers in the National League, and yet probably anonymous to a lot of baseball fans. Anderson's last 5 starts, he's 2-0, and his ERA is a nifty 1.74. 2 punch outs in the first.
We've talked about the struggles of the offense, and I think if the offense is going to come alive, it's going to take guys like Marcell Ozuna and Garrett Jones to start getting a little consistency and getting a little productive.
Well, right now they're both cold. They're a combined 0 for their last 28. Jones fouls that back. It's 1-2. Ozuna's in the 7 spot tonight.
And they're 2 guys that we all know can do that because they've done it in the past.
Marlins before the All-Star break scoring a run better than they are after the All-Star break. But look at the team ERA and look at the record. Did you know, Carl Pavano and Tommy Hutton, the 2 top teams for wins? That one's to right, and it's hit well back. Peralta leaps and makes the catch. On the warning track, Peralta kind of hemmed and hawed and zigged and zagged until he was feeling for the wall and made a leap.
It was actually looked like an off-speed pitch, but he got it up a little. And even though Jones was out in front, he gave it a pretty good charge.
Yeah, he did. he had seen 4 fastballs before that. I was surprised to see him go to that changeup because he kind of gave him an opportunity and sped his bat up.
The team with the most wins after the All-Star break, San Diego Padres. Marlins are right there with 15 wins. The Padres have 16. So Lamacchia takes out.
I think the difference with the Padres, they dug such a big hole early in the first half. I think that that's just not putting them in a great position like the Marlins if they keep playing good baseball like they are.
There's the changeup you talked about, Carl.
You're starting to see why this guy, he knows how to change speeds. He knows how to move the ball around. He's not afraid to throw a 2-0 changeup right there. He's definitely out there pitching.
And a few more to the left-handed hitters.
You're right.
Seen. Basically, you have 2 teams that haven't scored a whole lot. You mentioned the doubleheader, Rich, that the Diamondbacks split in Cleveland. They lost 3-2 in the first game. And they won the second game in 12 innings, 1-0. So they scored 3 runs in 21 innings.
Wow. Late night for Arizona last night. They got in at 4:30 in the morning.
Well, and you have to go back to the night before when they played 4 innings of baseball and waited 3.5 hours for a game that was washed out, and that's what prompted the doubleheader yesterday.
Long 2 days.
And then you have Marlins, who were shut out. Scored 2 runs. They were shut out until Jeff Baker hit that big home run, but just 2 runs. So over their last 26 games, the Marlins have scored 3 runs or less 19 times. So they have not scored a lot of runs.
First walk by Anderson as he walks Lamacchia. Marcell Ozuna, as we noted, he's cold, 0 for his last 15 and 8 strikeouts in that span. And he climbs in against a guy that beat the Marlins 9-1 back on the 7th of July. 6 innings, a run, 8 strikeouts. That was Anderson's night. That was in Arizona.
He's got an array of pitches. There's a curveball right there. Big strike to put him ahead in the count. Let's see what he goes with right here. He's really mixing up his pitches really well.
Now Ozuna had a couple hits in that ball game.
Back again with the curveball.
Yep.
If you ask Frank Menechino about Ozuna and his biggest challenge right now, he will tell you it's timing.
It's not easy. It's not easy, especially when you got a guy like this that has pitches ranging from 72 to 92 miles an hour. Some would break, some are dropping out of the zone, some have sink.
Ozuna into the hole. Gregorius leaping. There's the turn. Wow, what a double play. Pennington with the turn. D.D. Gregorius with 2 terrific plays already tonight. for the fish. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Miami Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins and come January, Rob Manfred.
He'll put his stamp on that.
Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. Carl Pavano is with us in the booth.
You know what I do think we'll see a little bit more of? Maybe international baseball. I think baseball's moving to that a little more. I think that's going to be something I think in the future will help them expand the game, the interest of the game, which is they're looking to do always.
Many people have said that that should be a front burner topic for the new commissioner to help expand the game internationally.
I don't think it can hurt.
Petty gets a strike on Chase Anderson, Ender Inciarte, and Cliff Pennington for the Diamondbacks in the third. There's no panic in Brad Penny. I mean, he's nonplussed by just about anything that happens out there. All right, AT&T U versus Rewind. I want both your opinions on this. This was August 1st. Paul Goldschmidt. Pitch was in, caught his hand, broke his hand, ended his season. The next night, Andrew McCutchen gets drilled in the back. And even Goldschmidt winced at that one. And what made McCutchen upset is that in that at-bat, the sequence had breaking balls outside, which had him leaning over the plate, and then they dotted him on a fastball in.
Yeah, you have to know so much about the entire situation. I'm sure there were times Kirk Gibson was thrown at after a guy on the other team was thrown at. I'll say how easy it used to be handled 30 years ago. If Goldschmidt got hit, you hit their best player, then you moved on. You settled it, there was no problem.
I'm a firm believer in eye for an eye. I mean, I always thought that was the best way to take care of it. I think the managers need to stay out of this stuff. Maybe they can police it. It's up to the players to protect each other. And personally, I'm not too sure about that pitch to Goldschmidt that had too much intent on it.
That's the hard part, is reading the intent on the pitch that hit Goldschmidt.
And even the pitch, obviously there probably was intent on the pitch that hit McCutchen.
Yeah.
But you know what? It wasn't at his head. And unfortunately, there are still people who think that is one of the reasons he had to go on the disabled list. Remember when we were in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, there's still discussion about that. I think the other thing that was odd about that whole sequence is it was Randall Delgado that hit him, and that was the next day. Oftentimes it's taken care of right away, and you
but
move
oftentimes
on.
It's not.
Well,
sometimes it's taken care of next spring training.
Yes.
You're right. The Pittsburgh are leading the Major League Baseballs in hit by pitches from their pitchers. So I think that was something that Gibson had brought up as a concern. And Clint Hurdle had a great quote that said, "Listen, we teach our guys to throw inside. This is how they're going to be successful. We know this is going to make them successful. And sometimes pitchers are going to get away from us, and it's not on purpose, and it's not personal."
And I will tell you this, because the Marlins were in Pittsburgh right after that. The Pirates arrived. Clint Hurdle had moved on the next day, and in fact, he was one of the strong voices that said there was no connection in his mind, and I think that was his way of being maybe old school and saying, hey, let's move past this, and there's more important things to worry about.
Guys think a little differently when they're managers. Kirk Gibson, when he was playing, it's a different scenario, but his guy got hit and is out for the year. I think that's the same thing when you have guys like Mike Matheny and Bruce Bochy, two catchers, about this whole collision thing. They're thinking differently because they're managers, because they each have really good catchers, Posey and Yadier Molina.
It's almost like a bit of a conflict of interest a little bit, which you always want your manager sticking up for you. I don't see a problem with that, but when that conflict of interest gets in the way of making a decision that's really good for baseball, I think that's bad.
I think for me tonight, dessert will be a conflict of interest.
I don't know. Is there any ice cream left? Tommy had like 3 or 4 before the show.
No, I did not.
See, you know, the one thing, Carl, I've got to salute. This is your first year as a broadcaster. That's a terrific catch. We've had 2 real nice ones. I have to salute the fact that this is your first year out of the game and as a broadcaster, and in just the 3-4 short months, you've already gained that sarcastic wit and the ability to needle other announcers.
Yeah, we love it when you needle Craig.
Oh, I know you guys do. That's why I do it.
And that's
exactly why I do it.
That's a key to success in this business.
It is. It is. You gotta laugh with each other. It's good times.
And the other thing we enjoy about you, and I think it's also important, is that you laugh at yourself.
Yeah, which is very important. There's a lot to laugh at, trust me.
Here's the 3-2. And it's up. And he misses. And Pennington, a 2-out walk.
Yeah, the 2-out walks. Lead off and 2-out walks. We talk about those a lot. And as a pitcher, those could really hurt you, especially with the middle of the lineup coming up here. So he needs to bear down and make some good pitches.
Yeah, a lot of people forget Brad Penny. Of course, 5 years a Marlin. 5 years with the Dodgers. Some of his really good years with LA. A couple of times a 16-game winner, 2 times an All-Star with the Dodgers.
1 year, I want to say 2006, started the All-Star game for the National League team.
Yeah, he was blowing 100 in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
I like Paul Emmel behind the plate. He has a unique strike call.
It's a quick one.
It is. We just had a real nice conversation with Jim Joyce the other night. And, of course, Jim Joyce has that strike call with where he brings it out. Emmel just kind of punches the air with that right hand.
Kind of pops it out to the right. You have to watch quickly.
Nice and quick. Hopefully he does that a lot this next couple pitches.
A little quicker than Jerry Lane. Or Tim McClellan.
Tim McClellan.
Yep.
Yes, Tim McClellan is the deliberate
He has fun with it, doesn't he? And he fools everyone, too. The whole place stops. And then, okay, I'll make my call now. What would your style be, Rich, if you were an umpire? Have you ever thought of that? What would your strike call style be?
I was an umpire.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. Only way to make money as a high school player was to umpire in Bronco League or the lower leagues. So I would play a game and then remember the old chest protector?
Yeah.
And then you get paid $20 a game.
Cool.
And when I was at that level, my umpire oftentimes was Stan Van Gundy, who was we came from the same town.
What was Stan's style?
I'll tell you what Stan's style behind the plate was. As a hitter, you knew you had to swing because Stan would double book himself. He would have a 2 o'clock game and then across town a 4 o'clock game. So your game was going to move quickly.
So you knew he wanted to get out of there in a hurry.
Oh, wow.
But the nice thing about Stan is he told you that. Hey, Rich.
Everyone started with 2 strikes.
Hey, Rich. Better be swinging. Liner over the head of Solano and into right center field. Stanton picks it up. Racing for third is Pennington. They will send him. Marlins botch the play in right field, and the Diamondbacks have another run.
And each run they have gotten has come on a walk. A leadoff walk, this time a 2-out walk. And that ball getting in the gap. Once it was bobbled just a little bit, Giancarlo got over, tried to pick it. He was on the move. That allowed the run to score. I think if he picks it cleanly and gets it back in the infield, the run doesn't score.
Not a bad pitch either. Peralta went out and got that.
That could very easily be an error on Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah, it's a triple. That's a tough play. They're ruling it a triple all the way.
So Peralta gets a triple. The Diamondbacks have a 2-0 lead, and the guy that drove in the first run is up right now, Mark Trumbo.
Yeah, that's one of those plays that splits the gap where you don't know which guy's going to get it. One guy reaches out, maybe overextends himself, and the ball just doesn't find the glove, and he stops it. And it really impedes the whole play there. It's too bad because Brad really came out with a good rhythm, got those quick 2 outs, and then walked that guy. And you know, ever since then he's been a little spotty.
Penny, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 2 hits, and 2 runs.
Yeah, he'd retired 6 in a row before that walk.
Trumbo fouls it back.
A lot of the times as a pitcher, you get those quick 2 outs. You try to get the inning over even quicker, and before you know it, you're in a jam here where you got the 4th guy up with a guy on 3rd, 2 outs, and you've already given up a run on a 2-out walk. This is really a shutdown at bat right here. This guy needs to turn over the inning.
Trumbo into center field, and the Diamondbacks have a 3-0 lead. Well, on a night where the Marlins had high hopes, they fall behind 3-0. It's often said that the true test of a team that wants to be a contender isn't how they play against good teams. It's how they play against teams that have records under 500.
I'll tell you what, the crowd was in it in the Cardinal series. Crowd isn't in it here. It's quiet. It's dead. The Marlins were in it in the Cardinal series. Right now, they're not in this game. And they got a long way to go. There's plenty of time. But they better turn things around.
Two RBI hits for Trumbo. Miguel Montero, who bounced to second his first time up.
Yeah, the tempo. It seems like it's just a very, very slow, methodical game right now. The tempo needs to definitely pick up, and it's starting with Brad. I mean, he's throwing a lot of pitches right now out of the zone. You know, he needs to come back and start to be aggressive and get some outs.
Yeah, all 3 runs have scored with 2 out.
Trumbo runs, got a big jump, and a 2-hopper for
Brett
Solano.
Penny better start holding runners, because if you got Martin Trumbo on the move, you're not holding runners.
3-0 Arizona.
Dan Jennings and the Marlins taking that line drive to the head. He was rocked as well. The good news is Dan is feeling much better. Did suffer a concussion, but that was it. Today he talked with us about it.
Good. I feel really normal. I do. I think I'm able to function and do most, my daily activities. Even from the beginning, light and noise didn't really affect me that much. I didn't feel the urge to wear sunglasses or anything. The only thing that really affected me was spending 15 hours in the Atlanta airport without getting my meds. I've never had a worse headache in my life.
I asked Dan, did you look at the video? He said, actually, that night in the Pittsburgh room, I had to look at the video. I went on the internet as we're getting bombarded here from the bullpen, and he looked at the tape. He couldn't believe they got an out. And he said, I had to find out how we got an out of that play. As you know, it hit off his head, and 40 feet in the air was caught by Echeverria. We'll have more on that on Saturday at our Marlins Live pregame. I am getting the business from assortment.
Throw something back,
guys. I don't want to.
You're a long way away, too, Craig.
Craig, why do you think everyone picks on you?
I think it's just fun. You know, some guys can take a joke, and I can take a joke.
Yes, you can. When you're one of 6 siblings.
You have to. That's right.
Right?
One of 6 Italians. You bet.
Echeverria leading it off, bottom third. And so far, Chase Anderson has been sharp. He's punched out a pair, walked one, a double play started by D.D. Gregorius, who has been all of that with 2 very nice plays, 1 in each inning so far. And Gregorius again with a diving catch. He has made an impact in this game already.
He has made 3 tremendous plays.
Every inning he's made a play that's impacted this game. When you got a guy like this on the mound where guys are going to put the ball in play, they're going to put the ball on the ground, those 2 guys up the middle are really important.
Gregorius was born in the Netherlands, raised in Curacao, part of that Netherlands group of shortstops. He was hurt and did not play in the World Baseball Classic. Had he played, he would have had to find a place to play. They had Andrelton Simmons, Jonathan Scope, Xander Bogaerts, Jurickson Profar, all of those guys terrific middle infielders on that ball club in 2013.
Jonathan Scope, a big home run last night for Baltimore. He's having a nice little run.
Penny at the plate.
My only advice to Penny today was do not go up there and try to hit a home run.
Yeah, he's not getting cheating.
Yeah, he's not swinging for singles right now. We can say that.
His last hit in the big leagues.
Oh, boy.
A grand slam.
Come on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Against Joel Pinheiro. Oh, look at this. A rifle shot.
We're never going to hear the end of this one.
Run, big man, run.
Oh, you got to love it. So gingerly running the bases, Brad Penny right there. What a great swing. You know, there's a curveball that he definitely wants back. I mean, after blowing 2 fastballs that beat him, he hangs a curveball. Yeah.
Okay, we watch you going around the bag. All right, you got the inside part of the bag. Ease up, ease up.
Ease up, you big horse.
You know what? From the swing and even the run, I think Bartolo Colon has taken a little heat off of a guy like Penny after watching Colon's performance this year.
Wow, that's a strong individual right there, fellas.
Well, it's a nice run out there.
It is.
If Miami can pick it up, they're down 3-0. As you guys pointed out, they're in need of some life. Palmetto 57 Nissan leaderboard. Active hits by pitchers: Penny 82, Randy Wolf on top of that list. Marlins just saw Adam Wainwright. Going 2 pitches on the outside part. And Yelich behind in the count 0-2.
Yeah, he's painted a couple of fastballs.
Well, you know what? That paint's outside the box.
Yelich right again. If you get 2 calls like that, Carl, you go back out there again and say, hey, give me a third, or go a little further away.
I try not to push my luck. If I get 2, I might move the ball in just like he did right there. But, you know, a lot of times when the umpire, if you'll notice, when a left-handed hitter's up, the umpire's on the right shoulder of the catcher. You do get some pitches on that outside corner because he can't see it as well as the inside corner. Look where his head is. So as a pitcher, knowing that, if you've got a guy that doesn't see that outside corner, you can expand a little more, and if you got good enough control, you could take advantage of getting some pitches on the outside corner.
And you know what? So far, Paul Emmel seems to be pretty consistent with it. So if he stays that way, so be it.
He's going to get it to him.
1-2 to Yelich. Breaking ball pulled to the right side. Trumbo steps on the bag. Penny ambles into third. And there are 2 outs. Tweet your photo, your fan photo. Hashtag it FL fan photo, and it might just be the AT&T fan photo of the game. Donovan Solano now, who was called out on strikes in the first. Diamondbacks with a single run in the first, added 2 in the third on just 3 hits.
He's really aggressive with that fastball into these righties. And he's really stayed consistent with it, even through the second time through the order right here. You can see starting Solano with that fastball in, trying to get a quick out on a ground ball to the left side.
He had a nice rise through the minor leagues for the Diamondbacks. Solano rips it down the line and in the corner. Extra bases. Paul picks it out of the corner. Solano settles for 2, and Miami does get the run back.
Boy, Donovan Solano continues to get big hits, reacted to that pitch in again, and I think got the crowd back in this game too with that base hit.
That's just one of those pitches where if it's elevated, it might beat him, but it was down and in where he could drop his head on it and make a really good swing.
So elevating it, trying to get it under the guy's hands.
Yep.
By getting it down a little bit, a little better chance to get to it.
Drop the head to it, yeah. And some guys, it's better to elevate it than sink it. Some guys, it's better to sink it and elevate it.
Let's see how Anderson approaches Stanton. First base open. Into center field. He went right after him, and Stanton drives in another run. We've seen pitchers these last 2 weeks bounce balls 10 feet in front of the plate, throw them 5 feet wide of the plate, anything to avoid Stanton. But with a runner in scoring position and first base open, Anderson went right at him.
And I like the fact that Giancarlo was ready for it.
Yeah.
And he got the pitch up too.
He did.
He saw that ball all the way. And this was something we saw a lot of early in the year. Stanton driving in runs with singles, not always having to hit the home run.
That's what makes him so valuable. He can beat you in many different ways.
Valuable enough to be your MVP, Carl Pavano, because he's in the discussion.
For me, he's made such a difference on this team. You could talk about the supporting cast around him that's helped him a lot, no doubt about it. But he is a difference maker, and he's a difference maker in this lineup.
103 miles an hour off the bat. Here's McGee. Stanton away from first. Well, Stanton now with his 83 RBIs, 3 ahead of Adrian Gonzalez. His 31 home runs. Leads the National League still. 2nd in slugging. 5th in on base.
Well,
Now, go ahead. Huh?
He's hit so well at home. 20 home runs at home. 55 of his RBIs at home. Stanton hasn't missed a game. He didn't start one game, but he pinch hit or got in it. He has not missed a game all year.
Which is part of the discussion of the most valuable player award, especially with Clayton Kershaw. A guy like John Smoltz came out the other day and said he's not a guy that is into pitchers being MVPs.
I'm happy to hear a former pitcher say that. Well, you hear a lot of people say that.
We have one next to us, Pavy.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a lot of special things. There's no doubt about it. But I think when you're comparing 32 starts a year to
into the bat, shallow center, gonna fall, and McGee has a hit, and the inning is still alive. Garrett Jones now, 1st and 2nd.
You saw Anderson go away from his fastball. He had been starting everyone off of fastballs, and Casey gets up there, and after those fastballs being turned on, you can see where that plays games on some pitchers' minds. And he went to the curveball, got behind 2-0, and Casey waited him out and got a pitch he could handle to dump into the center.
A little bit off the end of the bat. 8-game hitting streak now for Casey McGee, and just continues to stay on a tear. How about the tear he's been on in his career? Over 85 at-bats in his career against the Diamondbacks and a batting average of over 400.
Pretty good, keeping it going right there.
And on Phantom Cam, you saw the bat break. So stands at 2nd, McGee's at 1st. Remember, Jones hit a liner to the wall and right. Mike Harkey, former bullpen coach for the Fish. He's the pitching coach for Arizona.
Just to continue our thought on the pitcher, Clayton Kershaw. First of all, there is not an award that a hitter can't win the Cy Young Award. All right, so the Cy Young's for pitchers. And on those 4 days that Clayton Kershaw is not pitching, there's no way he's valuable to his team. He's not helping.
I think that's a great point.
John Cardinal can help his team every night.
That's a great point, Tommy. 32 games compared to a possible playing 162 where you can make a difference in every one. I think it's tough to quantify that a pitcher is that valuable and still in 120 less games than, say, the MVP who would play in 150 or 160.
The one exception I can go for is maybe a closer that has just an incredible lights-out year.
And I think Rivera's done it. Hasn't he won the MVP? Mariano? In the past?
I don't think Mariano ever did. Willie Hernandez did 1 year with the Tigers.
Dennis Eckersley with
Dennis
Oakland.
Eckersley as well.
0-1 to Garrett Jones. I guess the other guy in that discussion, if you want to make a top three, Andrew McCutchen is probably the other. Unfortunately, McCutchen is injured right now. He's on the 15-day disabled list. He's eligible to come off here in about a week, and for the Pirates, certainly they're hoping that he's ready to go. 2 runs across. It's a 1-run Arizona lead. Jones fouls it back. It's 1-2.
Tulowitzki was in the conversation, but he's having season-ending hip surgery.
Yeah.
Paul Goldschmidt would have been in the conversation, but he's out for the year.
And of course, what has Kershaw in the discussion is just a dominant Koufax-like season that he's having.
Or career in general. He's just dominating. It's incredible the numbers he puts up year to year. That's why that's why he got that very lucrative contract, because he is one of the most dependable starting pitchers there are in baseball. It must be nice. Don Mattingly must have fun writing his name in the lineup card every 5th day.
I think Don Mattingly's having an easier time writing his lineup card now than he did in April and May.
Yeah.
2-2. Jones swings and misses at a changeup and leaves a pair out there. Miami gets 2 back, though. Solano and Stanton drive him in. Spectacular on the 16th 7:10 start. Dominican Heritage Night. All you can eat seats as well. Just $27. Fans 21 and older. Got a post-game party for you at the Clevelander with Carl Pavano's favorites, DJ Red and DJ Jr. Presented by Heineken. Also a Carl Pavano favorite. Go to Marlins.com for tickets. Well, Brad Penny, control issues tonight. a bit. Down 3-0. His ball club has brought it to 3-2. Let's see how he responds in the fourth.
Yeah, he had a little tour around the bases too.
Yeah, this is a time where he could really get that tempo back to where it is. I mean, they fought back to get back into this game. It's a time he needs to be aggressive, keep these guys on their toes, throw strikes, get some quick outs, and get these guys back in the dugout, because they're starting to get to Anderson. They're starting to make him second guess his choices and pitches, as you could see.
Fastball up, as you saw in the Toyota trend. Most rookies use this season. Diamondbacks have used 16. Tommy, you and I have been through a few Marlins seasons like that. 06, 07. Last year, 2013.
But I think if you wanted to give the Diamondbacks some things to think about, we also can tell them about Dan Uggla, Hanley Ramirez.
Amen. That 06 team was the first team in Major League history to ever go 20 under and then work their way back over 500. And that launched the careers of a lot of really good Major League players. That rotation of Josh Johnson, Anibal Sanchez.
Hey, there's a lot of things that can happen this weekend, this 4-game series. I got thinking about it on the way to the ballpark today. If the Marlins are able to win 3 out of 4, all of a sudden they'd be back to 500. They'd be 62-62, and then all of a sudden the bell went off and it said, no, what, 62? That's how many wins they had all last year.
Yeah, that's a big improvement. And we'd only be 3/4 of the way through the season. So
there's an incentive to take 3 out of 4 from the Diamondbacks.
Here is Gregorius, who has been a defensive demon tonight. 3 terrific plays. He bounced to first back in the second. Well, Miami opened play 4.5 back in the wild card, 4.5 behind St. Louis, who is playing tonight against the hot Padres. And I know we were talking about the Padres and the hole that they dug themselves, but you know what? San Diego is just 5 games under right now.
Oh, wow.
57-62.
I know they played the Marlins really tough when they went to San Diego. I know that was a turning point. The Marlins had lost Jose after that, but they really beat up on the pitching while the Marlins were there.
Nationals off to a good start, 4-1 lead against the Mets. They've gotten a couple home runs, LaRoche and Harper.
And as far as the Marlins go, the Braves have lost. The Braves are just a game over at 61-60.
It's up for grabs. They keep playing good baseball. They can find themselves in a real good spot.
Ozuna on the break, on the run, and makes the catch. Two outs. Brad Penny of the Fish in this 4-game series starting tonight. And here would be the playoff picture. In the division, with Atlanta's loss, the Marlins are just a 1.5 games behind them. 4.5 behind the Pittsburgh Pirates, who lost today, and they slide back into a tie with the Cardinals for that wild card spot. You see the Giants, Atlanta, and Cincinnati, the teams in front of Miami.
I think the Giants have a little bit left for a run against the Dodgers.
I don't know. I think with losing Kane and some of their starting pitching right now, the Dodgers have really seemed to hit a stride.
Xavier Paul. Penny misses up. If you're just happening by this ball game, this is Brad Penny's second start with the Miami Marlins. He, of course, was a World Series hero back in 2003. Josh Beckett got all the accolades. Penny won 2 starts in that World Series. He was 2-0 with a low ERA against the Yankees.
Oh, he pitched great.
Game 1 and Game 5.
Yep. And we were in a spot where we didn't know when we were starting, if we were in the pen. I mean, everything was a guessing game. We only knew one guy was in the rotation. That was Beckett. Come each division.
Hey, Jack liked it that way.
Yeah, he did like it that way.
And even Beckett wasn't sure if he was going to work on regular rest or short rest. And of course, famously, it was short rest for Game 6. Brad Penny, a nice fourth, 3-2. By Hyundai. Get the lowest prices of the year during Hyundai's model year-end clearance sale. By When the Game Stands Tall in theaters August 22nd. And by Hialeah Park Casino. It's 1-year anniversary. Join the celebration this weekend at Hialeah Park Casino. Diamondback jersey. Looked like a Marlin baby. 3-2 ball game. Bottom of the fourth. Saltalamacchia, Ozuna, and Echeverria against Chase Anderson, who was touched for 2 runs back in the third, and that changeup has given Garrett Jones some fits.
You can really see he uses that changeup more to left-handers, and left-handers coming into the game this year hitting 185 against Chase Anderson.
It's a good pitch, you know, especially when you combo it up with a good fastball that you can locate, and you're mixing in all your pitches, showing guys you can throw strikes with all your pitches.
He tripled up on it there, yeah. 3 in a row.
I was wondering what he was going to do. A lot of times you see, you know, after the second one, the pitcher talks himself into throwing a fastball and it gets hit when he hasn't even shown he's made the adjustment on the changeup.
Well, to your point, the Marlins have 5 hits in the ballgame. They've all come from right-handed bats. Solano, Stanton has 2, McGee, and of course that slugger Brad Penny.
That inning definitely got away from him his last inning.
All right, he had the good changeups early. Missed with some fastballs, 3-2. You think he goes with the changeup?
I think he goes with the changeup.
Yep.
And he popped him up. Trumbo makes the catch. Still learning some of the nuances at first base.
And once you've done that, and you've shown a lineup that you can throw the changeup 2-0, the changeup 3-2, as a pitcher, you can start playing the mind games. If you get the third and fourth time through the lineup, it's kind of a cat and mouse game. Well, you know, I threw him this pitch 3-2 last time. Now I got another 3-2 count, so I go with the fastball. And when you have command like he has, you're really I think you're in the driver's seat.
Now Ozuna. And a breaking ball gets strike 1. Ozuna is mired in an 0 for 16 with 8 strikeouts. He bounced into a double play to finish the second.
Ozuna hasn't seen a fastball. His first at bat, he saw 2 curveballs, and then another curveball that he hit off his knuckles that stayed in on him, and now he's seeing 2 more curveballs here. So they're reluctant to give him a fastball because they know he's a little anxious. He's trying to get himself out of this slump, and he's swinging at a lot of pitches.
That breaking ball he takes into center field. And so he snaps the drought. A 1-out hit. And here is Echeverria.
That's a good feeling, I'm sure, for Ozuna. This one, the curveball was up just enough.
Yep.
He stayed back enough, too. He was able to drive it up the middle.
We were talking last half inning about recent pitchers to win both the Cy Young and MVP. We had Eckersley and Willie Hernandez. Forgot Justin Verlander a few seasons back. Roger Clemens, Raleigh Fingers, also since the 80s.
He almost said Fingers, but I wasn't sure.
So the only relief pitcher is Eckersley. All the rest
and Fingers.
And Fingers, that's right.
And Hernandez.
Oh, they were there. I thought Fingers was there.
They're the last National League pitcher to win the MVP, and of course the Cy Young was Bob Gibson in that incredible 1968 season.
Yeah, he had like a ERA under what, 1.38 or something like that.
1.13.
Chase Anderson gets a double play ball, and Miami is done in the 4th.
No one is happier to be here in the Magic City pitching tonight than Brad Penny.
Yeah, it's been a long time, since I got to pitch in Miami, and I got a lot of great memories in Miami, so should be exciting.
Penny remarked watching games here. First of all, big park, good for the pitchers. He knows the crowd. He said the crowds are really into it. Tonight they get a little slow to get going, but they made some noise. And he also talked about just being around this ball club, how much fun he's having, and knowing that as he gets older, it gets a little bit harder. But he's enjoying this challenge. One other thing too about Penny, he's in the record books for more than 10 years between starts. By far, no Marlin had ever done that. Now, Croppovano, you watched him when he began this trek. You interviewed him that night in Jupiter. What progress have you seen from Penny then to what you're seeing here?
No doubt his stamina is better. His whole presence is better. He's a little more sure of himself, and we've talked about it from the beginning. It's about getting the reps and going out there and just trying to find that consistency. And tonight he's a little erratic. I'm sure there's some emotions involved that he hasn't pitched here in a while, and this team is really counting on him. And no matter how much experience you have, expectations are always the highest from yourself. So I'm sure he's putting some pressure on himself. He's settling in right now and making better pitches.
And he starts with Arizona pitcher Chase Anderson, Ender Inciarte, and Cliff Pennington for the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks were a .500 team last year. McGee waits for the hop and gets the out. Saturday, Major League Baseball on Fox Sports 1 returns doubleheader. Derek Jeter and the Yankees take on the Rays. Matt Holliday and the Cardinals take on the suddenly hot Padres. Coverage begins 3:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Inciarte walked back in the first, stole the bag and scored. The other penny walk was Cliff Pennington. That was in the third. He scored as well. Mets right now are taking on the Nationals. Terry Collins today making sure everybody was clear that Matt Harvey will not pitch this year. Conversation kind of started a couple months ago when Harvey said he wanted to get back by September. The Mets really wanted him to take his rehab at a slower pace. Last night we had Jose Fernandez on, Tommy, and he must have used the word patience many times, and probably 5-6 times.
Yeah, it's probably the hardest part of that process.
Yeah, it is. It's if you like to get out there and compete, you really don't like sitting in the dugout watching your team try to make these monumental moves in the division, and you're not part of it. It's really tough. I've done it actually myself, where I've had Tommy John in 2007, and you're sitting around doing a lot of nothing.
And the thing that Jose said last night when we had him on, even more frustrating with the team playing so well.
Yep. You want to be part of it. I mean, that's what it's all about.
1-2 is pulled. Solano. Inciarte is out number 2. And now the ground balls are starting to come from Penny. He's around the strike zone a lot more. His consistency has taken a big jump.
Gone to his curveball a little more.
Yeah, I think his curveball's been nice and crisp.
His curveball's getting down in the zone. I'm sure Salty's noticing that, and he's gone away from his fastball a little bit and gone to the curveball and got some nice quality pitches and a nice quality out right there.
Fastball's been pretty consistent in that 92 range.
And as you see, you can see him missing down, which is a good spot for him. You can work your way up, but it's tough to work from up to down when you're missing up in the zone. Sometimes you don't get those balls back either that you miss up in the zone. So,
how much does the turn that Penny takes in his delivery help him now that he's no longer a power guy?
Well, I think actually this turn he developed in the middle of his career to keep him from getting
into right center. That ball's hit well. Ozuna on the run, and he won't get it. It's by him, it's to the wall, and Pennington all the way to third.
Sometimes that turn gives you the ability to let your arm catch up a little bit, just as long as you don't rush out of it too soon. But sometimes that turn can get you in trouble and make you too rotational, which will make you more side to side, and you won't have a consistent release point. But he's pretty methodical in his delivery. He's got a pretty sound delivery. He gets out front, and he's got a pretty consistent release point.
What does the turn do for him?
I think it just keeps him close a little bit and keeps him on that back side a little longer, which allows him to get more extensions on his pitches and hopefully stay on them a little longer.
By the way, we saw that last curveball out over the plate wasn't as sharp as some of the others. I think one other little thing the turn might do, it helps him hide the ball.
Yeah,
a little.
It's a great point, Tommy. That deception is
key.
I'm
thinking as a hitter.
Yeah, that deception.
It's a little harder to pick up.
Yeah, that deception is a big key.
Peralta tripled back in the third. It's odd because last night, for some unknown reason, we were talking triples, and the two teams that were leading the National League in triples, we noted the Dodgers, which is a surprise, and the Diamondbacks, probably not in their big ballpark. No. And here the Diamondbacks have 2 already in this series, and the series is not yet 5 innings old.
I think with the base open right here, this is a good guy that you could be cautious with. He has hit, he got an out his first at bat. He did hit a ball on the screws to right field, and then he had the triple the last inning that cut in between right center. So I don't think it hurts you to get this guy on the bases. He's not too quick.
Well, this is the part of the lineup that Penny's had issues with.
Yep.
Peralta, the RBI triple in the third, and then Trumbo on deck as a pair of RBI hits. And a ground ball to second. Solano to a knee, gets the out. Brad Penny pitches around the triple. Bobbleheads are bobbling. A 3-2 game. Marlins bottom 5 halfway through a 1-run Diamondback lead. It's Hialeah Park Casino's first anniversary, and they want to thank South Florida with a weekend of exciting casino promotions, food, beverage specials, and a free classic car show on Sunday. Join the celebration this weekend, Hialeah Park Casino. Brad Penny doubled down the left field line, and he gets a fastball.
He took that one. His last at bat, he swung out of his shoes. He must be feeling pretty good now that you hit 1-2 curveball. Now you're keyholing him.
He feeling okay. I can hit with 2 strikes.
Oh,
got another fastball.
Yeah.
He's behind the count, 0-2. Yeah, Penny's double came with 1 out. With 2 outs, Donovan Solano doubled him home. Giancarlo Stanton singled Solano home. And that was after Miami fell in a 3-0 hole.
You'd like to see that again. He's taking some healthy hacks up there. You just wonder when he's going to go to the curveball in the dirt and see if Henny can hang off of it, lay off of it.
There's the breaking ball. Penny swings over it. And there's 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Game 2 tomorrow night. Checkers brings you tomorrow's tilt. Trevor Cahill for the Snakes and Brad Hand for the Marlins. Now Henderson Alvarez is scheduled to come off the disabled list on Saturday. The Marlins will have to make a move to open up that spot on the 25-man roster for Alvarez. So 2 things probably will happen. You're going to have someone headed down to AAA, and the Marlins are probably going to send a current starter down to the bullpen.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people maybe see that as a problem, but having 6 pitchers and have to pick 5, that's not a bad problem to have. There's probably some organizations,
especially this time of year.
Yeah, there's probably some organization, but I think it creates competition. Whoever's doing the job and winning ball games, that's who stays in rotation. That's the way it should be.
1-2. Yelich reaches out, hooks it into center field. And the Marlins have their first hit from a left-handed hitter against Chase Anderson.
Good to see Yelich stay on track. He had that terrific series against St. Louis. He was 6 for 11 against the Cardinals.
He really spoiled a good pitch there. I mean, Anderson's first pitch to him was a changeup that he swung through. He tried to sneak it by him there 1-2, and he spoiled it with a line drive out the middle. Great piece of hitting by Yelich.
Miami's not really been in a position to run yet tonight, but this is a good one with Solano up and Yelich at first. Solano turns on one, drives it to left. It's deep. Paul is there, and he makes the catch. Boy, Donovan Solano with some good swings. He doubled down that line, and he drives Paul to the track. Here comes Stanton.
Yeah, Yelich, I was watching him. He was anticipating that ball maybe getting over the head of Paul, the left fielder, and had gotten all the way to second base. And had it gotten over his head, he would have scored.
The ball actually looked like it took off a little better than it did. I thought it was going to get over his head.
Almost looked like it got jammed, though.
Yeah, just got in on it.
Anderson challenged Giancarlo back in the third with a runner at second, and Stanton lined a single to center to score the run.
Boy, came after him again.
Yeah, he's aggressive, and he definitely has confidence in his stuff. He commands the baseball well enough where I don't think he's going to be pitching around too many guys.
Does Stanton's presence shut down Yelich?
Yeah, until he gets to 2 strikes, I think.
Yeah, you got to give him a chance to swing the bat, get a hold of one.
Breaking ball, Montero. Solid behind the plate. 6 homers in August. Javier Baez has had a nice start to his major league career.
He could file the one today away, though. He was 0 for 4 with 4 punch-outs.
Oh, boy. Got to have one of those days every once in a while.
Especially as a young hitter.
Yeah. I have a feeling he's got some years ahead of him. It won't be his last time.
The funny thing is, before the run that Stanton is on, he had 2 of those 0 for 4 with 4 punch-outs. So it can happen to rookies. It can happen to a guy that's contending for an MVP.
It happens to the best of them.
Stanton in the left field, his 3rd hit of the night. Yelich not stopping, racing for 3rd. And Miami has him at the corners. And here comes McGee.
Well, 2 of his hits have been jam shots, but you know what? He'll take them. Yep. He hits enough balls hard, and this one's soft enough that Yelich 1st to 3rd easily.
Heads up base running right there. This could play into a really nice inning. You know he's going to give a really good at bat. His last at bat was great. He really waited him out to get that curveball that he got at the first pitch that he swung and missed at. Let's see how he goes after him here. He's really showed him everything but the kitchen sink so far, and I'm sure Casey's ready for it.
Surprised that in watching that replay that Stanton's bat didn't snap like his last one. McGee busted his bat on a single in the 3rd. Anderson crowds him. It's 1-0.
Casey's got a lot of things going. He's got the 8-game hitting streak. He's got the hit streak since he had the day off, and he's got the tremendous batting average against the Diamondbacks in his career.
I like this at bat right here.
And of course, he's had a terrific year with runners in scoring position. That went in the dirt. McGee with runners in scoring position. Still atop the list at 345. Josh Harrison has had a really nice 2 months. Going into the All-Star break and coming out of the All-Star break. Yelich and Stanton at the corners with 2 outs. McGee hasn't had anything to hit in this at bat.
Yeah, Casey McGee with 140 hits now. Only Hunter Pence and Daniel Murphy have more.
He has provided some great leadership for this team, along with filling that spot behind Giancarlo.
Almost got him.
You can see he's very erratic right now. There's a lot of stress on these pitches. I mean, the Marlins have really put Anderson in a hole. You can see the stress on the pitches. He's not nearly as controlling the baseball like he was in the beginning of the game. And it's coming that time where he's seen these guys third time through the lineup. He's starting to play the mind game, whether, this guy got me here, this guy got me there, and you can see the anxiety in these pitches. He's really he's missing big.
Remember, he's been better against lefties, and Jones is on deck. 3-1 to McGee. Casey got a fastball. That means Giancarlo will be on his way from first. Full count and 2 outs. Anderson up to 88 pitches. Stanton on his way. McGee, a hard shot out at second. Pennington bobbles, gets him, and the Marlins are done, and they leave 2. 5 in the books. 3-2 Arizona. Three runs, 4 hits, 2 runs, 8 hits for the Marlins. Rich Waltz along with Carl Pavano and Tommy Hutton. Since Brad Penny was out there, we figured we'd bring back one of his old teammates. As far as Penny goes, Carl, he's gotten better as the game has grown longer.
He has, and that's what you like to see. I talked about it a number of times already. The pressure's high right now. He wants to come in there and impress. It's been a while since he's pitched in Florida. He's probably got a lot of people yelling his name. His parents are here. His wife's here. His daughter Bryn. So it's an exciting time for him, and he's settling in nicely.
And I think we've seen improvement from start to start. From his start in Cincinnati, we've seen a little better command in this one. I think we've seen a little better curveball in this one, and a much better bat with the double.
Yeah, which is important. Pitchers are the best athletes on the field, though, Tommy. I know you would argue.
You don't want to get in that conversation.
Here's Mark Trumbo. Now, Tommy Hutton also had a moment, we'll call it, in the 3rd inning when the Diamondbacks took a 3-0 lead that Miami needed to play with a much larger sense of urgency and a little energy. Hut, do you think the Fish have shown that over the last couple innings?
I think the 2 runs got them back in the game and also got the crowd in the game a little bit too.
It always helps. And it starts with that starting pitching. I mean, Brad's had some quick innings. With the 2 outs, has been his nemesis a little bit, but we need him to turn that around when he gets 2 outs and start finishing off some innings and get these guys back in there, because they're starting to get to Anderson. As you see, he's not having quite the clean at-bats that he was having early in the game. They're really putting up some good at-bats against him. One or 2 more innings, they could really do some damage.
You would think, too, at 88 pitches, if Brad Penny's able to get through this inning, this will probably be his last inning.
I would think so.
And he probably is thinking that, too.
Yeah. They got a bullpen that can handle it. There's no doubt about it. They're fresh. And, you know, why squeeze more out of him? But, you know, I think we'll leave that decision off to Redmond. But that could be a good thing if that was to go on.
Mark Trumbo, a pair of RBI singles. He fouls a pitch back. It's 3-2. Trumbo, at one point, seemed like such a big part of the Angels' future. Mike Trout came along. And
you got
now it's
Hamilton.
Trout,
then
Hamilton,
they signed
and
Pujols, too. Yeah.
And between the 3 of them, I think they're making about $60 million. So that pushes someone out. You know, with the point of where he's at in his career, he keeps putting up those power numbers. I don't know if you could afford it to have guys that are making, you know, at that pay scale, and then having those superstars on the team. But all
right, you saw the sour look on Chuck Hernandez's face, Miami's pitching coach, because he knows that for Penny, his 2 previous walks have scored.
Yeah.
And he walks Trumbo. And Tommy, you brought up the fact that Brad Penny has not held base runners on very well at all tonight.
Yeah, we even saw Trumbo, who does not run a lot, to take off. There's a ground ball, so it didn't matter, but we even saw him take off the last time he was on base.
it's the pitch count that concerns me right now, like Tommy pointed out. I mean, the Marlins need him to get through this inning. This would be a great inning for him to finish strong. And you know, you go out and you give up 5 or 6 pitches and lead off the leadoff guy. That's sometimes a recipe for disaster to start an inning that way.
And I think both Mike Redmond and Chuck Hernandez see the importance here, and they don't want things to unravel here in this 6th inning. That's why Hatcher's up, probably ready by now.
If Penny falls behind 2-0 or 3-0, I wouldn't be surprised that they make the change mid at bat. In a 1-run game. He's handled Montero twice with ground balls to second.
This would be a great time for another one of those.
Got another lefty bat on deck, Jake Lamb.
You know, those are the zones, the misses, where you know that the mechanics are off. I don't know if he's getting a little tired, but the mechanics are off because that ball's up and away, and you know that the arm isn't catching up to the body, and that's usually the result on those pitches.
And you were talking about earlier when he was missing down.
Yeah.
And that was a gift.
Yeah, it was.
Boy,
Yes,
he'll
it
take
was.
that.
Yep.
Well, that changes things completely. If you're Miguel Montero, instead of 3-0, Penny's back in the at bat at 2-1.
They're playing it cautious over there at first. I think they obviously saw what Trumbo tried to do the last time he got on base, even though there were 2 outs.
He's running. Pitch is taken, and the throw to second skips into center field. And the inability to hold even Mark Trumbo close to first is costly.
And we talked about Trumbo. It's only his 2nd stolen base. He's stolen 2. He's been caught twice. Pretty good throw to go on because the pitch was up and away, and a good throw has Trumbo.
Yeah.
But the throw really sailed on Saltalamacchia.
And so now it counts 3-1. Montero rips one to left field. Yelich in full flight, looks up, and it's off the wall, and it bounces back by Yelich. And Trumbo will score easily. And so for Brad Penny, another walk and another run.
Well, and another pitch up.
Yep.
Where most of the pitches in this inning have been.
At a point in the count where it was 3-1. So, you know, sometimes 1-2 you could get away with a pitch that's up in the zone, especially if it's close to a guy, but 3-1 where they know the fastball is coming. And I think that's all for Brad.
Another fastball up out over the plate. Can't get away with too many of those to a good hitter. 7-game hitting streak now for Montero.
And an exit for Brad Penny. Mike Redmond has made the call to the bullpen. Nobody out, a runner at second. The 4 runs that the Diamondbacks have put up on Penny's line, and he's responsible for Miguel Montero out there at second base.
It's a big inning right here for Hatcher to limit the damage and get these guys back in there. Like we've talked about, Anderson's faltering right now. Try not to give him too much of a second breath.
Well, we saw those numbers on Chris Hatcher. Just terrific numbers. 38 strikeouts, 5 walks as Brad Penny looks on. He's upset. I know in his mind he would have liked to finish that 6th inning.
Well, Hatcher's job is to somehow leave Montero out there on the bases. Ended the bat. And Yelich there to make the catch. Hatcher inherits a Diamondback lineup that is stacked with lefty bats.
1 pitch, 1 out. It's good to see right there.
The weapon, well, 2 weapons actually that Hatcher has. He's got that live fastball, but also the splitter that a lot of times equalizes those left-handed hitters.
Here's Gregorius now, who was 0 for 2. He's had 3 sparkling defensive plays. I don't think there was a spot where the Diamondbacks were not affected by an injury. Starting rotation took 2 big hits with Patrick Corbin and then Bronson Arroyo requiring Tommy John surgery. A.J. Pollock, an outfielder. Chris Owings, a shortstop. Former Marlin Cody Ross, an outfielder. All have been spending time on the disabled list. And then Paul Goldschmidt, a broken hand, out for the rest of the year.
they've certainly been dealt some adversity as an organization. First two guys up, swung at the first pitch. Pretty aggressive right now, this lineup.
Frustrating thing for the Diamondbacks with Arroyo. They thought they were getting a durable guy. He had 9 consecutive years, 32 starts or more.
200 innings.
Averaged about 200 innings.
Yeah, and Arroyo doesn't really fit the modern day Tommy John profile.
Yeah.
Because he's not a max effort mid to upper 90s guy.
More of a finesse guy where you don't feel there's that much force on the arm or the elbow. A lot of years in that elbow and arm. He's been pitching a long time.
Yeah, I think in his case, you just figure all the pitches and all the innings just caught up with him.
You know, he did have an injury to his back in spring training that was pretty significant that he missed a number of days from. And the back is a very tricky thing. It's a big part of the decelerator. And when you're missing that, it really makes the arm susceptible to other injuries that perhaps you wouldn't get if your back wasn't injured. So I'm wondering if maybe something like that, he tried to get through that. He didn't have a proper spring training. Maybe rushed himself a little bit at his age. Sometimes that could be a detriment too, as well.
Trying to press a new team.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors.
Hopefully he's able to still play the guitar.
If not, he'll pay someone to play it until he gets that arm back.
1 out. Gregorius battling a 2-2 count. Chris Hatcher in for Brad Penny. 4-2. Arizona on top. What's at stake here for Miami? 4.5 back in the wild card. Opening a 4-game series against the Diamondbacks. The Marlins have had a penchant this year to beat the good teams, beat the teams with good records. They just came off taking 2 of 3 from St. Louis and 2 of 3 from Cincinnati. What the Fish have to do, and to prove that they are in fact a postseason contender, is beat the teams with records that are under 500. The Diamondbacks qualify. The Rangers, coming in to finish the homestand, qualify. But as you know, in sports, sometimes those are the toughest teams to beat.
Yep.
The teams that have nothing to lose.
Sometimes it could possibly come down to the focus. You just pick up your focus. It's like the infielder that doesn't make the easy plays, but makes the hard plays. Where you need to focus 100% all the time. It can't be only when you need to raise your game and then take advantage of it when you don't.
The closer that can't pitch in the 8th, but is lights out in the 9th. Saltalamacchia blocks it, and Jones gets handcuffed on the throw to first. Makes the catch. Gregorius is out.
That's a good pitch, because Gregorius takes a big swing. Yeah. He's a great shortstop, but for him to be a complete player, you're going to have to change things in his swing. He's got a big swing, and that pitch equalized that big swing, that splitter.
He had made some good swings on some pitches. He was really aggressive this at bat compared to his other bats, and aggressive enough to where that ball in the dirt got him to chase. That was a big strikeout for Hatcher.
I think that's one of the reasons Saltalamacchia went out and talked to Hatcher. They wanted to make sure they were on the same page with the right pitch.
Yep, I think you're right.
Now the Marlins are going to walk Hall. Now Anderson's on deck.
I don't see anyone up.
He's thrown 89 pitches. Arizona's bullpen is quiet.
Well, their bullpen with that doubleheader in Cleveland got a lot of work, especially the second game going 12 innings.
And I don't think you're going to see Randall Delgado at all tonight. Delgado yesterday was the first pitcher to record a win and a loss on the same day since Jeff Geary of the Phillies back in 2006.
See, that's really surprising to me, because there were a lot more doubleheaders, over the last 20, 30 years. So I figured it would go back 15, 20, 30 years for that. But to go all the way back, that's amazing.
No, 2006.
Oh, 2006. I thought you said Oh, I wasn't listening. That usually happens when I don't listen. Okay, 2006. That's not bad. That's the second time I heard you say that too. I didn't listen.
It's all right.
I love the honesty though.
That's because
he didn't try to roll around it. He was straight up. You know,
a lot of times,
I wasn't listening.
A lot of times when it's just you and I up here, I can read your lips.
Oh, so
it's Carl in between.
Now.
Yeah,
of course it's my fault. Oh, I'm sorry, Tommy. I'll leave now. Okay.
In any good relationship,
I knew this was going to come back to the rookie.
In any good relationship, honesty is always the best.
It is.
So
it's the equalizer.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I kick a ground ball, I kick a ground ball.
Like the fact that I knew I was going to be on air tonight, and I had forgotten my wedding ring at home, and I had to call my wife and let her know that the wedding ring will not be part of the show tonight because I had left it at home. I thought that was right honesty to move.
That's right. There was no intent there.
And that was a tip from
just happened.
Tip from Tommy. I actually went to Tommy. Tommy, what do I do on this one?
Now on Kid Sundays,
he had some great notes.
On Kid Sundays, Tommy usually gives Tommy's tips, but the wedding ring one I have not seen yet on a Kid Sunday.
Well, wait till the kids get a little older.
Here's the 1-1.
Oh boy,
a swing and a miss by Anderson.
Yeah, let me know when you get one of those questions from those 9-year-olds. Okay,
right.
about the wedding ring.
In the meantime, Chris Hatcher trying to get out of this jam and keep it a 2-run game.
Montero at second. He's been there for a while. Paul at first. And Hatcher does just that. Nicely done. Out of the pen. Hatcher ends the rally. Diamondbacks get another and lead it 4-2. To give Chris Hatcher some love. Hatcher finishes the inning. Penny in this ball game, second start with a fish this year. 5 innings, 4 runs, 5 hits, 3 walks, and all 3 scored.
We talked about when he got the ball up is when he got in trouble. Earlier, 10 ground ball outs. So when he was keeping the ball down, he was getting a lot of ground ball outs.
South Florida Honda dealers get you ready tomorrow night, 6:30 start for Marlins Live. Chase Anderson ventures into the 6th. Garrett Jones, Jared Saltalamacchia, and Marcell Ozuna for Miami. Anderson has featured a dynamite changeup, and he's thrown it extensively to Jones, Saltalamacchia, and to Yelich. Yelich 1 for 3. Jones is 0 for 2. Saltalamacchia walked and popped out.
If I'm Jones right here, I'm waiting on that changeup. He's going to get one of them, and he put a good swing on one in his last at bat. He just got off the end.
Well, he's getting. This is what happens too when you're in a slump. It's as soon as you get that little hit, get that one hit, you're all right. But he's getting some pitches and then having decent swings and fouling them back.
Yeah, it looked to me there he was just late on that, because I think in the back of the mind is that changeup. This guy's.
Two and two. Anderson just 26. AJ Ramos in Miami's pen. Got the hands through and fouls it off. The Reds have broken out on top over the Rockies 2-0. Cardinals 2-0 over the Padres. It's bottom 4 in St. Louis. Jones takes down low. Bottom 2 in Colorado with the Reds up. The Reds are an even 500 right now at 60 and 60. Marlins, of course, 2 under at 59 and 61. And Jones walks. So a leadoff walk. We'll see if the Arizona bullpen gets active, and we'll see you on a family Sunday. A 1:10 start. Marlins and Diamondbacks. Pepsi 4 for 54 pack. And it's Billy the Marlin's birthday at the ballpark. Back to school day as well. Kids get a Billy the Marlin bag courtesy of Avianca Airlines. You can run the bases after the game. Go to marlins.com for tickets. Mike Harkey, Diamondback pitching coach. Kirk Gibson, Diamondback skipper. But it's amazing how quickly things can change as a manager. In 2011, Gibson was the National League Manager of the Year. And in 2014, his job is on the line.
Yeah, you know, with a new executive on board in Tony La Russa, certainly a lot of people have talked about that.
Ball and a strike to Saltalamacchia.
It really gives that Arizona Diamondback front office an unbiased opinion, because no one, Tony La Russa is totally from the outside coming into this organization trying to straighten things out. I think sometimes that's the best way to go about it.
Of course, Kevin Towers, a very sharp general manager as well. Saltalamacchia fouls it back. 1-2. And La Russa has been quite visible around the team. This is not a figurehead. This is a hands-on assignment. Chief baseball officer.
He's been around baseball a long time.
He's filing away a lot of things and taking a lot of notes, I'm sure.
I'm sure he is.
Not many companies have a CBO, do they? Chief baseball officer. Well, Saltalamacchia has worked the count to 2-2. It was a nice at bat by Jones. Worked a deep count and got a walk. He's at first. Miami down by 2. Bottom 6. End of the bat. Little pop, shallow center. Gregorius is out, makes the catch. And with 1 out, here comes Ozuna. You know, after the walk to Garrett Jones, there was activity in the pen. There was some scurrying about, but no one's throwing. I don't know if a few guys wanted to run over and take a look at the Clevelander.
It's possible.
A couple of guys were trying to catch a power nap. with their late arrival.
That's right.
From Cleveland.
Ozuna cracks one in the air to right.
I think Anderson's going to have to make some extra pitches tonight because of those long games and a lot of arms used. So it doesn't look like they have any intention of getting anyone up right now, and he's still at 102 pitches.
Well, not only the doubleheader yesterday. Remember, they were at the ballpark in Cleveland for 3.5 hours the day before. 0-1. Ozuna fouls that one off.
They were just happy knowing that they were coming to Miami with the retractable dome.
Yeah.
4 a.m. arrival in Miami.
That usually means about a 5 or 5:30 bedtime.
Right.
You know, Ozuna's had some better swings here tonight. He singled back in the 4th. And this at bat, his timing, which has been the key issue, seems to be a little tighter.
I was just about to comment on that. Those balls he's allowed them to get a little deeper on him to get to him, where before he looked like he was out on his front foot, really reaching for pitches. So he's feeling a little more comfortable this at bat.
Well, he reaches there.
Yeah. One of the few changeups that Anderson's thrown to a right-handed hitter.
Yep.
Now Echeverria, then the pitcher spot.
Yeah, it's been a while. Ozuna just 2 RBIs in his last 14+ games now. His last home run was July 27th in Houston.
Danny Echeverria is still looking for his first home run.
Solano's probably gotten all over him.
Yeah.
Tell him, I've got 2.
I'll tell you, early in the year, though, Echeverria, some of the balls that he hit the right on this warning track, he could easily have had a couple. It's just the wrong stadium to be.
Drives that one in the gap, right center field. Remember, the runner is Jones. He's chugging for third. Brett Butler will send him. Echeverria is headed for a triple. Jones will score. Ball kicks away. Echeverria holds third, and Miami is within a run. And for Echeverria, he may not have a homer, but he's got 7 triples this year.
I know this sounds like a broken record. Now, I don't care, because he's had a tremendous approach. How that ball drifted inside, he let it get there, his hands took it into right center. He's had that approach the entire season.
He has. And the toughest thing for hitters is staying with that approach. Because like I talked about, he's hit a lot of balls to right field that could have been easily homers in other stadiums. And with how big this stadium plays, it's only to the warning track. But to stay in that approach because of that is pretty special.
And he's also gone through periods where he's hit balls in that area, same approach, but he's hit line drives for outs.
Yep. Sometimes that frustrates guys. It makes them, I can't do this anymore. My average is getting hurt, or my power numbers are down because I keep doing this in the stadium and they're just easy outs and they try to pull the ball and they come out of their swing.
Brett Butler talking to Echeverria. Marlins have Reed Johnson as a pinch hitter. Bullpen is finally in motion. Evan Marshall is up.
I like this matchup right here. Reed's a guy that stays up the middle to the right side of the field. He's going to get some breaking pitches that he can handle because this guy's around the strike zone. I really like this matchup for a guy that can put the ball in play off a guy that throws strikes.
I'll tell you another reason I like this matchup, and I agree with you, 343 with runners in scoring position this year. Both Reed Johnson and Jeff Baker have been outstanding in these situations.
2 guys that know how to handle a bat in a pressure situation. It's important.
First pitch from Anderson. Johnson takes inside. Johnson the other day talking about how difficult it is as a pinch hitter to keep your rhythm and stay loose at the plate when you're not getting playing time. And he hasn't had a whole lot of playing time other than pinch hitting over the last 3 weeks. Pulls a ground ball and scooped there by Lamb, who gets the out at first. Miami gets 1 run and draws within 1. It's 4-3.
Arizona. And Tom Kohler waiting his start over the weekend. No longer with the long hair. Here's our Geico quote of the night.
I just grew it out over the off season and I was planning on cutting it during spring training, and I never did. And then I was going to cut it around the All-Star break, and I didn't do that. So I came in today, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it today. And I did it. It feels weird. I mean, it's definitely shorter. You can make a rug with all the hair on the floor.
Different look for Tom Kohler, but a good look for him. I think everybody would agree. Guys, back to you.
I agree. Good look. That's a good look.
Sometimes the change is good. A little different, though. I'm sure he lost 5 or 6 pounds.
I think it depends on how he pitches his next start.
Yeah, it does come down to that.
It'd be tough to put it back on.
Yeah.
A.J. Ramos now, second out of the pen. Inciarte slaps it. Echeverria has to hurry. He does. Safe. Ender Inciarte just slapping the ball Echeverria's way, and then beat the throw to first.
It's a great play. It's like an infield hit when you have speed. Echeverria does everything he can, and it's just beaten by the guy who in the Diamondbacks organization is the fastest base runner and has the best outfield arm. So good play, but you don't see that too often. You used to see that a little bit more.
Diamondbacks have been aggressive with the running game tonight. Inciarte swiped second back in the first. Even Mark Trumbo got a bag. That was with Brad Penny on the mound. Ramos in there now. Penny for 5. Chris Hatcher the 6th. Ramos in the 7th. And the problem for Penny, walks. A pair of them were leadoff walks. He walked 3 and all 3 scored in a 1-run game. Bennington tripled his last time up.
This guy's a good candidate for a ground ball to the right side. Hopefully right at Solano.
And he misses on the 2-0. He's gone 3-0. Bennington, longtime Oakland Athletic. Last year's first year with Arizona. And he walks on 4 pitches. So an infield hit, a 4-pitch walk, and Ramos stares right into the teeth of the Diamondbacks order with Peralta, Trumbo, and Montero.
And these are the guys that have done some damage. Peralta has an RBI triple. Trumbo has a couple of RBI hits, and Montero with an RBI double.
And he went after a pitch that was up and out. Peralta behind in the count, 0-1.
Ideally, you don't want to be going into an inning, no outs, man on first and second, going through the meat of the order with guys that have been swinging the bats the way they are. And you can see Peralta being really aggressive there. You figure he's laying off because Ramos threw 4 straight balls, but he was even though that was a ball, he's going after that pitch. And again, he's swinging, and that was a possible ball as well.
David Peralta, 26-year-old Venezuelan.
Well, I tell you what, Rich, he's 27 today.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, today's his birthday.
You know what, Tommy? I was wrong.
You accepted that. Yeah. A little bobble. It wasn't. It wasn't. You continued with the play. Though.
Yeah, I kicked it, but I made the play.
Yeah.
And he pulls it foul. Of course, Peralta's trip to through his 27 years and to the big leagues was such an interesting one. 2 shoulder surgeries. He was a left-handed pitcher in the Cardinals organization. Spent 10 years, played in 6 different leagues, 2 positions, independent ball in 2012 and 2011 in places like Rio Grande, Amarillo, and he swings and misses, and Ramos strikes him out.
Yeah, he pitched 3 years in the Cardinals organization in the minor leagues. There's that good changeup by
Great changeup.
AJ. AJ has a good repertoire. That's why he's so valuable.
And he's always around the strike zone. Very aggressive. This is the guy you want right here. This is the guy that could put up a crooked number in one swing of the bat.
Trumbo. Boy, with Trumbo and Goldschmidt, they've got 2 boppers in a ballpark where you don't really have to bop it to get it out. It's a great place to hit. You've got elevation, you've got the dry air. Pop up. Stanton. And Ramos has come back to get the next 2 hitters. He's in a nice groove now.
Great pitch.
Just had him out front enough.
Yep. He's got good movement on all his pitches too, which enables him to miss a little bit, because all his pitches, one's going left, one's going right. He's got a good sinker, good cutter, good curveball, good changeup. He moves the ball around well. An above average fastball.
Montero, RBI double his last time up on a 1-for-3 night. Nationals have a 4-1 lead over the Mets. That's in the 8th. That's in New York.
And this umpire doesn't give much on the inside corner at all. I don't know if he's been reading the articles. Gibson doesn't like guys when they throw inside on their guys, but they have not gotten much today.
That's right on the black, so to speak.
Yeah, Montero with that base hit in the 6th extended his hitting streak.
Inning open. That infield hit by Inciarte. He's at second. Pennington walked on 4 pitches. Ramos has come back to get the next 2 outs. He's 2-1 on the Diamondbacks catcher Miguel Montero. On a night where not a full schedule in baseball, but plenty of participants in the National League wild card in action today and tonight, including the Cardinals, who lead the Padres 2-0 in the top 6. Rope to right, Stanton there, and spears it. Kind of got sideways so he could catch it through the lights, and he makes the grab, and Ramos escapes. Marlins and Rangers on a Tuesday night 7:10 start. $20 package. Get the game ticket. Get that cool social media t-shirt that we were sporting last week. Pre-game tour, chance to win an on-field meet and greet with Tommy Hutton and me, actually. Purchase your package at marlins.com/social media. AT&T fan photo, hashtag your photo, FL fan photo, tweet it, and you could end up like Brock with a selfie with Giancarlo. And it looks like Atlanta, right? What do you think, Hut? Ballpark behind it, is that Atlanta?
Yeah, it looks like Atlanta, and that's good. They did a good job in cropping it because we don't see the evil cow.
That's right. Tim McDermott, our producer tonight, knows that Budweiser bar and balcony quite well in Atlanta. Here's Evan Marshall, Christian Yelich, Donovan Solano, Giancarlo Stanton coming up.
But looking back at the participation of some of their bullpen last night, Marshall worked an inning in game 1 of their doubleheader.
So he's ready. He's had 17 hours off.
Yelich trying to bunt.
Yeah, actually Delgado, the only reliever that worked in both games.
A loss and then a win. Marshall has a quick delivery. It happens in a hurry when he starts his motion. 6'2", 200 pounds.
Pretty good sinker, pretty good slider. Yeah, he's a little quicker. He's not as fluid as Chase Anderson.
A little herky-jerky, a little slinger a little bit, sidearm, kind of a lower arm angle, which will cause that ball to tail away a little bit.
Yelich strikes out. And so Marshall gets the first out of the 7th. Jan Lexus brings you the upcoming broadcast schedule. So tomorrow 6:30, Saturday 6:30, appointment television, Marlins Live. Sunday day game, 12:30 start for Marlins Live. Off day Monday, and then the Rangers 6:30 on a Tuesday.
2-game series. You don't see that often.
Yeah, we've seen that more over the years with interleague play.
Day game after a night game. The Rangers will be here less than 48 hours. 2 games and then out of town. Marlins had a 2-game set. They split with the Rangers in Arlington earlier this year. Solano 1 for 3, an RBI double.
That Ranger team now is a different team than they saw back in early in the year. They've been decimated with injuries.
Yeah, they have, and they just put Yu Darvish on the disabled list with elbow problems.
Boy,
Marlins got a good look at him.
Yeah, he pitched really well in that outing.
Solano's numbers very good against the Diamondbacks. Counts 1-1.
Really, I mean, this is a point where we've talked about where these two teams, this team, the Marlins, could make up quite a bit of ground with these 2 teams that are, with the Diamondbacks here and the Rangers coming in. Not to say that they're subpar teams, but as far as I'm concerned, the Marlins are better teams and they should win these ball games.
I think more so than any other sport, it's really hard to play the schedule that way.
Yeah.
It's hard to look at the schedule and say, hey, I'm out at the Clevelander, having a good time. Wait a minute, where was I going on that? Oh, yeah. It's hard to look at the schedule and say, this team's under 500. That team, I can't concentrate. I'm sorry.
So what you're saying, it might be a little easier to project that in other sports.
Yeah.
Who are you? 2-2.
Rich, come back.
Come back, Rich.
It's mid-August, and for a second there, I was lost in thought. Sorry.
Lost in the Caribbean.
Two balls, two strikes. Donovan Solano, Giancarlo Stanton's on deck. Evan Marshall, first out of the pen for the Diamondbacks. And Solano, another shot. This one is just foul. Solano pulls in at second, but it's a foul ball. He has hammered 3 balls into that corner. One was an RBI double. The other was caught on the track. And this one,
this was a breaking ball that just stayed over the inside of the plate that he just turned on really well.
Every time they've tried to come in on him, he's really turned on the ball and hit it well.
Yep.
Starting for the 26th time this year at second base.
sends that one down the right field line.
Solano to me is the type of player that's nothing has been given to him. He's had to earn everything. He's had such a good attitude this year. He's gone up and down a couple times and seen Furcal take his spot after coming off the DL, then Vladespin, then Dietrich, and really kept his nose to the grind and just grinded it out. And he's putting together a strong season and showing the Marlins he might be the guy capable to take that spot, that revolving door over there at second base.
Just stays alive and got a piece of an 85-mile-an-hour breaking ball.
Yeah, Donovan Solano's a survivor. He knows what to do. He knows what he has to do.
Yeah.
Well, he and his brother Jonathan out of Colombia. Not a lot of major leaguers from Colombia. They were I believe the 12th and the 13th ever. Brother down in the minors. Donovan facing a 2-2.
Only 12th out of Colombia. Wow, that number's. I'm thinking Orlando Cabrera, I want to say, was Colombian too as well, though. A former teammate of mine I played with for a while.
And so was his brother Holbert.
Holbert, yeah, you're right.
And of course Edgar.
So there makes up. Yeah, there's 5 of the 12.
Julio Teheran.
Wow, there's 6.
It's been a 9-pitch at bat by Solano. Love to get Stanton up with a runner on. 2-2 again. Strike 3 called. Solano walks away from that at bat. Here's a look.
Yeah. Not even close. There it is again with the home plate umpire Paul Emmel, who sets up inside. That's the pitch that he's had more trouble with the entire night. Some of them have been pretty close, but that one missed by a lot.
Yeah. It's a blind spot for the umpires. They're not going to be perfect, but you hate to see that. And a big at bat in this part of the game where Marlins could really use Solano on first base.
Yeah, and a good at bat too. That's the other thing that's tough on that. Donovan Solano had a good at bat and took what should have been ball 3.
He goes back a failure when really that was a very successful at bat.
Stanton 3 hits, all of them singles. Breaking ball for a strike. It's 1-1. His single in the 3rd drove in a run. 83 runs driven in for Stanton. Liner, right field, got a chance, and it's foul. Just foul.
Wow. With so many other hitters, right-handers, when they hit a ball the opposite field like that, you figure maybe it has a chance to get in the corner, but Stanton, you know if it's fair, he has the power to hit it out that way.
And that was a breaking ball on top of it. That obviously got a little too much for the plate as far as the pitcher's shirt concerned.
Whoa!
That was by inches.
Look at how close that was.
It started off quite a bit fair too. I thought that was.
Now it's 1-2 now. Count 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Not many guys could do that from the right side. So many things make this man a special player.
There's been an Oliver Perez sighting.
How about that?
He's in the Diamondbacks bullpen. 2-2. Nothing close after that near miss. We'll see if Marshall goes for the strikeout here. McGee waits on deck.
Somewhere after you said Oliver Perez, there are some Met fans going, what?
Struck him out. Outside corner. Down goes Stanton. Marshall got him with a fastball, and he does strike out the side.
Well, we're in the 3rd inning. Diamondbacks had a 1-0 lead. They get a triple by David Peralta and then a base hit up the middle off the bat of Mark Trumbull to give them their 3rd run. How about Brad Penny stroking a double down the left field line? He eventually comes in to score on a double by Donovan Solano. Continues to swing the bat well with Solano at second base. Giancarlo Stanton bangs one up the middle. Stanton with 3 hits tonight. But they haven't been able to catch up to the Diamondbacks.
A.J. Ramos gets Jake Lamb, D.D. Gregorius, and Xavier Paul. Into the 8th, 4-3 Arizona. Lamb rated as the number 9 prospect, number 10 by Baseball America. That's the Diamondbacks number 9 prospect. University of Washington draft pick 2012. Brad Ziegler in Arizona's pen. So Lamb is in the big leagues ahead of schedule with the departure of Martin Prado, injuries to other infielders.
Seems to me his time in AAA, he's pretty good average. 327, 15 homers, 84 RBIs in 108 games in AAA. That's pretty good power numbers for a young man.
Pabby, I got news for you. You could hit 250 in Reno.
Really?
It's a great place to hit.
Try. Oh, I've never played in that. It's the Pacific, right? The Pacific Coast League?
Pacific Coast League.
Yeah, I've never played in that league.
Good altitude. Las Vegas, Reno, good places to hit. Not to discount those numbers.
Yeah, I guess they are a little inflated. I didn't think of that.
Colorado Springs, another great stop. And Lamb swings and misses.
I'll tell you a guy who knows quite a few of the young players on the Diamondbacks is Brett Butler, Marlins third base coach, because Brett Butler spent 4 or 5 years managing their Reno team in AAA.
Did not know that.
So just about every one of the young guys that coming up, he either had as a player or had in spring training.
Well, they're trying to line up his outfielders. Here's Gregorius, who was 0 for 3. Marlins look like they're headed to the back end of the bullpen of the Diamondbacks. You saw Ziegler getting ready. Addison Reed is the closer. Counts 0-2. Ramos's change floats outside. This was a Brad Penny start. 5 innings, 4 runs, 3 walks, all 3 scored. Chase Anderson was sharp early for the Diamondbacks. He would go 6 innings, 3 runs on 9 hits.
Trying to get him with that changeup like Hatcher did with the split finger in the 6th inning. You can see them trying to get that pitch down the dirt where he could offer at it, but those are just a little too far out of the zone where he's staying off it, even though that one he wanted to offer. But that ball's down, more on the plate, he swings at it.
Echeverria tracking the pop-up. 2 outs. Xavier Paul is up. The Padres have come back to tie the Cardinals in St. Louis, 2-2 game. And to the bottom of the 6th. Nationals trying to put away the Mets 4-1, bottom 9. Boston 8-4 over Houston, bottom 7. Rays up 6-2 in Texas midway through that ball game. And the Rockies have tied the Reds 2-2, bottom 4. And some of those scores important to the Fish. Certainly the St. Louis score. The Marlins 4.5 behind the Cardinals in the wild card. The Reds score. The Reds are at 60-60. Just in front of the Marlins in that wild card chase. 0-2. Pirates lost today 5-2 to the Tigers. Falling into a tie in the wild card spot with the Cardinals.
Terrific outing by Max Scherzer. 14 strikeouts in his 8 innings to go 14-4. Good job by A.J. Ramos in his 2 innings.
Remember, the first 2 he faced got on. He's retired 6 straight since. getting in on it. Kelly Sacco, the in-game host.
Oh, Billy. Billy's going to have to work on his aim a little bit, huh, Rich?
Yeah, well, that bill gets in the way. There you go. Photo opportunities. You know what, though? For all of you that are doing the Ice Bucket Challenge and posting it on Twitter and Instagram and showing it around, remember, it's great, but donate. ALSA.org. Make a donation, because that's the reason for the Ice Bucket Challenge. Brad Ziegler now.
Well, let's see. Last night, the Marlins saw Pat Neshek with his unusual delivery. Actually, Ziegler is more from down under with his delivery.
So he's more Cishek than Neshek.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Jones and Saltalamacchia will follow Casey McGee. Miami in the bottom of the 8th. Down a run. Ziegler gets a strike. Brad Ziegler leads the National League in holds, tied for first in appearances. This is 62nd appearance. 5th in innings pitched. Has not pitched well lately, an ERA of over 6 in his last 14 games. McGee bounces it up the middle, backhanded by Pennington. And McGee is out on the tag. MLB.com app bad. Download it to your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry 10, Windows Phone 8, whatever device you can download. Get on it. Marlins.com for details. Or if you want to text and get it sent back, text at bat to 31826. 31826. Just text at bat. Mike Dunn in Miami's bullpen. McGee is out number 1. Ziegler now facing Garrett Jones. Marlins came within a foot or two of tying the ball game in the 7th. Giancarlo Stanton, a slicing liner out of the ballpark, but just foul down the right field line.
But that leads us back to a conversation that we've had. You can't depend on Giancarlo Stanton every night. You've got to get some stuff from Jones, from Salty, from Ozuna. The Marlins stuck on 3 runs or less. We've talked about the number of games they've been there. The offense is struggling.
It's a lot. It's a lot when you're dependent on one guy and all that pressure's on that guy, especially when that guy goes into a slump. But you know, they just got to get it going. It's definitely a team effort. There is always a couple guys in the lineup that could put the team on their back, but it's almost not fair if they're always dependent on that guy. Other guys got to chip in.
Saltalamacchia has popped out twice and walked. Jones tonight 0 for 3. Ozuna 1 for 3. And it's a night where Stanton has 3 hits. He's 3 for 4. All 3 singles, 1 knocked in a run. Big shift. Ziegler buries it low. It's 2-0.
I like this matchup right here. Salty's a low ball hitter. He gets something he can handle in the outer third of the plate. I feel like he can put a pretty good swing on it.
That one's way out. Ozuna waits. 3-0 coming. And it's out. Saltalamacchia walks. And Ozuna, who has had better swings tonight, though he did strike out his last time up. Single in the 4th. Snapped an 0 for 16.
I think if you're Mike Redmond, too, you start thinking about making a couple of changes and getting a couple of guys like Jeff Baker, who swung the bat well lately, getting him in the lineup.
Red has a habit of the timing of those things doing pretty well. He's done it a couple times this year, and it's really injected some energy into the offense. There's no doubt about it.
The Diamondbacks know all about Ozuna and his power. Ozuna with his 16 home runs, 17 doubles.
He hit a game-winning home run in Arizona before the All-Star break. That was a big win.
That was against the very back of the bullpen, Addison Reed. And when you go straightaway center in Arizona, you got to elevate because the way the ballpark is configured. Watch where this one lands. Ozuna knew it. Off the batter's eye. It was the top of the 9th inning.
That was in a bat where he saw quite a few pitches too. That was quite a few pitches into the bat where Addison was really spotting the ball away. He tried to go away one more time. That ball came over the middle, and Ozuna put a great swing on it.
And to illustrate how he has slumped, that was his 15th home run that he hit. And that was before the All-Star break, and Ozuna now was 16.
Well, he's sitting on a 2-1 pitch here. Saltalamacchia at first base is the tying run. A good take there.
He's shown some good restraint this at bat. Ozuna's a young guy that's at a point in his career where he's going to have to make adjustments. He's going to have to learn how to come out of slumps. He's going to have to learn how to take the good times with the bad and really even things out and find a good balance. He's still a young man, but he's at that point where he needs to start showing that he can make those adjustments.
It's a called strike. Ozuna doesn't like it. And there's good reason.
Yeah, we've seen that all night. Yeah, Ozuna 23. Rich and I have talked about it a lot. Still really didn't have hardly any Double-A experience.
That one is way out. Ozuna turned to check just in case. So a pair of walks for Ziegler, and now you've got Echeverria, who had an RBI triple his last time up. Marlins are going to pinch run for Saltalamacchia. Jordani Valdespin comes into the ball game. Kirk Gibson is on his way out to the mound.
He can't be happy right now. He got a quick 2 outs too. Another guy goes out there, gets a quick 2 outs, and then he can't find the strike zone.
There's nobody up. Gibson's out there just to deliver a message.
I don't know if I'd like the message. You know that Kirk Gibson is out there for a reason, and he's a hard-nosed guy.
Yeah,
he got his message across.
Usually Gibson could just glare at you from the dugout and you get the message.
Get the message.
But I think he wanted to glare at him from close range.
He wanted a good look. He
All right.
wanted to make sure he got a good look.
This is an interesting at bat with the sidearm delivery from Ziegler. Echeverria has been pushing balls to right center all year long, and that's where he found the RBI triple. He's lined out and bounced into a double play. Good speed out there now. Valdespin at second, and Ozuna at first. And Echeverria, ground ball up the middle, into center field, base hit, tie game. Valdespin scores. Echeverria comes through. Ozuna's at third.
And I was with you all the way, Rich. I love that matchup because the pitching style of Ziegler kind of went right with the approach of Echeverria.
And the Marlins finally catch the Diamondbacks here in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, the only thing I was wondering is how he was going to start him off with that first pitch fastball, because he started a lot of righties with these fastballs in. But that one to X, he tried to get in, he left it right down the middle, and he went right up the middle with it. Didn't try to pull it. Great execution on Hatch right there.
So a little payback because the Marlins scoring a run that walked.
That's right. As we've talked about, the Diamondbacks taxed a doubleheader yesterday. There's no one throwing in the pen. Ziegler struggling. And here's Jeff Baker. And Ziegler misses outside. He's got a lefty bat and Yelich on deck. Baker, who came into the ball game last night and delivered a 2-run pinch hit home run. And he's very good with runners in scoring position. Chops it to short. Gregorius gets it, flips, and gets the out. But the Marlins have drawn even. And they do it with a Danny Echeverria's RBI single, 4-4.
Top of the ninth, Jeff going on I be on the center field for our Checkers Live postgame show coming up. We'll take a look at how free passes have been a factor in this game. Both sides, a lot of runs scoring after getting on base via the walk. And we'll look at Etch coming through, and of course more on whoever the hero of this game is, plus clubhouse reaction after the game, guys. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Craig. Mike Dunn out of the bullpen. Now, for the bullpen, the offense has caught up, and we'll see if the bullpen can keep throwing strikes. A.J. Ramos, 2 scoreless innings. Scoreless inning for Chris Hatcher as well.
Yeah, some of the best at-bats tonight have come from Danny Echeverria. And when you look at the line of Mike Dunn, the thing that stands out, because he is a relief pitcher, are all the decisions. 9-5 is his record out of the bullpen. And here he is in a tie game. So you got the right guy out there.
Yeah, you do.
To pick up number 10.
They call them the vultures. Hopefully we can keep the Marlins can keep that trend going right here with Dunn.
Jordan Pacheco is going to pinch hit. Pacheco does a little bit of everything. He's caught, he's played first, third, second, and he's pinch hitting here. That one fouled back. So Jeff Mathis is behind the plate. Yeah, Valdespin ran for Saltalamacchia.
Yeah, so that leaves Mike Redmond now with just Ed Lucas available on his bench.
That one away.
It's away, but we've seen that called 3 or 4 times tonight.
1-1 to Pacheco. That one up and out. Pacheco, for some reason, has hit the Marlins well. Just 12 career games, but 16 hits. Former Rocky. doesn't get that one either. It's 3-1. And that's out. It's 3-1 now. Top of the order to follow. Inciarte and then Pennington. Big swing and a big pop-up. Solano calls Jones off and makes the catch. Well, if Dunn can deliver the game to the bottom of the ninth and keep it 4-4, Miami will have the top of their order up.
And that's good news.
Now, the bad news is he's got to navigate through Inciarte and Pennington. Either of those guys get on, you've got Peralta and then Trumbo, and this is the area where Brad Penny had his biggest difficulties. All 4 runs came from the first 4 hitters in the Diamondbacks order. Ender Inciarte out of Maracaibo, Venezuela. Southern League All-Star last year.
A couple of years ago, the Phillies actually Rule 5'd him and then returned him back to Arizona.
He was one of those guys that's sort of like when you get that sweater at Nordstrom's and it doesn't quite fit. You can take it back and just, they'll take it back.
And to any Nordstrom's.
Right.
Around the country.
And so, Inciarte, Phillies couldn't keep him on the Major League roster, had to return him to the Diamondbacks. He still had that barcode, though, on his spikes. Pennington's on deck. Dunn, the 2-1 coming. Elevates a fastball.
Big swing.
It's 2-2. Outfield swung a bit to left center. Giancarlo Stanton well over into the gap in right center. That's where he's played most of the year, especially in this ballpark. Fastball got him, 96.
That's a way to go right after a guy where you're not too worried about hitting the ball out of the ballpark. He has a couple of home runs, but at this point you want to keep him off the bases, and Mike Dunn did just that, went right after him.
Good pitches elevated too, where he can't try to get on top of that ball and slap it and run first and beat it out.
Now Pennington, switch hitting second baseman. Boy, Dunn pumping strikes. 95 there. Diamondbacks held an early lead, 3-0, then 3-2, then 4-2. Marlins caught him in the 8th. Ball and a strike. Fastball up. Since the game's tied, Addison Reed, the closer, not up. Braden Hagens, who has never pitched in the big leagues, is getting set to make his Major League debut. And right now it looks like a 4-4 game. If Dunn could get this out. Into right center. And Stanton is there and he makes the catch. Braden Hagens makes his Major League debut. Giancarlo Stanton due up third, 4-4 in the ninth. Diamondbacks opening a 4-game series. The Diamondbacks bullpen taxed by a doubleheader yesterday and an extra inning game in the second game. Called up Braden Hagens, and he will make his Major League debut here in the bottom of the ninth of a 4-4 game. Hagens out of Merced Junior College in California was a starter all the way up the ladder, including last year at Double-A Mobile.
And Rich, as you like to say many times, this is not a soft landing for Braden Hagens for his Major League debut. He's got a guy, number one, that he has to face who's very patient, in Christian Yelich. And then in the dugout, getting ready to go in the on-deck circle, the third hitter in the inning is that man there, Giancarlo Stanton.
And Hagens is a reliever by trade. He was a starter by trade, a reliever lately, but started most of the year in Double-A and Triple-A. He has made 6 relief appearances in the minor leagues this year.
And facing a team that's been in this position in the bottom of the ninth tied many times and come.
Here's Yelich, and he takes outside. Yelich, Solano, Stanton. Yelich a single in the 5th. Solano an RBI double. Stanton is 3 for 4. In a 4-4 game, an opportunity for the Fish to pull within a game of 500. And Hagens, a strike, 1-1. Miami's dugout watches. And a strike catches the corner. 2-2. Boy, that's.
I'm telling you, this has been a sad night and a tough night for Paul Emmel.
That's out by a good margin. Yelich, a chopper over the middle. Pennington, quick release. Yelich beats it. Leadoff man aboard.
That's a hit. Great at bat. Hit it in the right spot, too.
Boy, he certainly made Yelich aware with the call off the plate. He had to be swinging at anything close. Not too many second basemen are going to throw out Christian Yelich from there.
You know, I can see if that ball gets to the shortstop, he just steps and throws. Second baseman still has to pivot, turn, throw. It costs him a couple steps. I mean, Yelich's speed, he beats it out.
All right, a lot of ways to go here. Solano, a good bunter, a good hit and run man. Yelich can steal a bag. Solano squares.
See, we've seen this before, and we've talked to Mike Redmond about it, because if Solano drops down the bunt successfully, you lose Stanton in this inning. They'll walk him. And we've seen Mike Redmond do this because he has that much confidence in Casey McGee.
He's done it, and he's won games. They're going to call that a strike and say that Solano offered at it.
That's terrible.
That's first base umpire Chris Conroy. Here's a look. Let's see if he did. Wow.
I hope it was because the catcher appealed it and he didn't just make that call on his own.
Here's the 1-1. There's the bunt. It's a good one. Higgins gets the out. Now we'll see what Kirk Gibson does. If he intentionally walks Stan, if he pitches around Stan, you would expect that would be plan A and plan B.
Well, you got a kid making his major league debut. I think it would be asking a little much to say, pitch around him, nibble a little bit.
And of course, Casey McGee has hit into more double plays than anybody in the National League. And so, certainly, if you're the Diamondbacks, you want to set that scenario up. And they are going to walk him.
And from what we've seen from Hagan, he does have a pretty good sinking fastball. So that's possibly what they could be thinking right now, Rich.
This will be the 20th intentional walk to Giancarlo this year.
Well, McGee tonight is 1 for 4. 2 of his outs were ground ball outs to second. Of course, McGee hot. He's extended his hit streak to 8. Since that off day, he is 12 for 28.
Most intentional walks by a Marlin ever, Miguel Cabrera, 27 in 2006.
All right, the good numbers. McGee leads the National League with runners in scoring position. The number to watch out for is he's bounced into more double plays than anybody. 22 of them. David Wright with 19. Andrelton Simmons at 17. So here is McGee. The game winner is at second. Great speed with Yelich. Stanton, the trail runner. Braden Higgins making his major league debut, misses outside to Casey McGee. Arizona's bullpen wiped out by the doubleheader and extra innings. Higgins called up, makes his major league debut in a 4-4 game in the bottom of the 9th in Miami. He gets a strike on McGee. It's 1-1.
Rich, the Marlins are 29 and 17 in one-run games, and they've had 9 walk-off wins.
You can see wins in their last at bat, most in the National League.
They're primed to be in this position in this game right now. They've done this before.
Here's the 1-1. And McGee hits a slow tapper to second. Out there. Gregorius' turn. Out there. And Kirk Gibson gets his double play. Miami is done in the 9th. And this game goes to the 10th. Beef jerky all season long. Jack Link's beef jerky. Feed your wild side. Well, the Marlins essentially taking the bat out of Giancarlo Stanton's hands with a sacrifice bunt by Donovan Solano. McGee has had a terrific year with runners in scoring position, but still, you've got Giancarlo Stanton, who is 3 for 4. He leads the National League in RBIs. And the Marlins and the Diamondbacks end up in the 10th inning. And Miami is hoping that their bullpen continues to throw like they've thrown tonight. Four scoreless innings out of the pen. One of them by Mike Dunn. And Dunn faces David Peralta, Mark Trumbo, and Miguel Montero here in the 10th.
There are a lot of ways to play that last inning without taking the bat out of Stanton's hands. I know it's worked occasionally, but you hate to see one of the best hitters in the game not be able to swing and be walked intentionally. You could steal Yelich. You could move him with a hit and run. Maybe you get guys first and second.
You also got to
personally, I hate to see Stanton not be able to swing.
Yeah. He could do a lot of damage, and I think you take the pressure off the pitcher a little bit. He goes from, you know, second base with one of the most power guys in the big leagues up to first and second.
Put the pressure on the young kid who's out there making his major league debut.
Yeah.
Here's a 1-1. Peralta swings and misses. Dunn is throwing well tonight. Ramos did, and so did Hatcher. That's the trio that the Marlins have leaned on for bullpen tonight. And of course, for the Diamondbacks, this is a scenario that they were hoping to avoid, and that's extra innings after a doubleheader with extra innings yesterday. They really chewed up their bullpen, and Dunn snaps off a slider, strikes out Peralta.
Boy, he got ahead with some good fastballs and then just buried a nice slider away from Peralta.
Left on left, 95, 96 miles an hour. That's not easy to hit, and then drop a slider on the back with 2 strikes. Great executed pitch.
You got a right-handed power bat in Trumbo now. Pair of hits, both RBI singles. And it's pulled foul. Miami came out lethargic tonight and fell behind early, 3-0. Brad Penny got through 5 innings, wobbled at the end, gave up 4 runs. He walked 3 and all 3 scored. Chase Anderson started for the Diamondbacks. He pitched well early. Miami would end up getting 3 runs off of Anderson. Remember, Ramos, when he came in, gave up a hit and a walk, and since then the pen has retired 10 straight. 0-2 coming. Make that 11 straight.
Ramos had 3 strikeouts. That was number 3 for Mike Dunn.
Some clean innings, cutting through right the middle of the lineup too. For 2 innings, 3 innings straight.
They call burying that slider on the back foot unhittable.
Good pitch, especially after you dominate him with a fastball, and he's speeding up for that fastball.
Now Montero with 2 outs. Breaking ball and a strike. Montero an RBI double in the 6th. On a night where baseball has a new commissioner, Rob Manfred. The Marlins and the Diamondbacks are into the 10th here in Miami. Dunn's 1-1.
Inconsistent tonight, Paul Emmel. Talked about it earlier. If you're going to call it both ways or call it the whole game. And I don't think we've seen that tonight.
There's a strike. And it's 2-2. It's been a rough ride behind the plate. Dunn, though, evens the count. He's got 3 strikeouts, the 5 outs that he's recorded.
There's the old emergency swing.
Bit of an emergency hack right there. He wasn't ready for that fastball. I think he was looking slider.
Montero, an all-star for the 2nd time. Guy that the Diamondbacks have locked up on a long-term deal through 2017. Check swing and no swing.
Check swing. I'm thinking that's a strike. It looks like it right over the middle of the plate.
That's just off the in, but as Tommy pointed out, in out has been a coin flip. Ready with the 3-2. High in the air, right field, Stanton under, and he makes the catch. Bottom of the 10th in Miami, 4-4. With Brett Butler, but also Mike Dunn. It's bottom 10, 4-4 game here. Miami has Garrett Jones, Jeff Mathis, and Marcell Ozuna coming up. AJ Ramos, Chris Hatcher, terrific out of the bullpen. Dunn as well. Dunn 2 scoreless innings. 12 consecutive Diamondbacks retired by the Marlins bullpen. So the spotlight goes back on Higgins, making his major league debut, a starter in the minors, brought in the 9th. He got the double play ball from Casey McGee, and that ended an opportunity in the 9th inning. Now Jones.
One of the things we've seen a little bit from Higgins, he will feature a changeup.
He hasn't featured a strike yet to Jones. Remember Mathis in the ball game. Miami pinch ran for Saltalamacchia with Valdespie, and it's 3-0. And you'd love to have a guy that you could pinch run for Jones. Ed Lucas is the last guy on the bench. I don't know if you want to do that. And Jones walks.
A guy you could, but he's not on the active roster right now, is Henderson Alvarez.
Then you'd have to bring Lucas into the game after you pinch ran for him.
Yeah. Burns him again. Or even Evaldi.
There are really no choices right now.
Yeah. Really, you're right. So Mathis at the plate. After a leadoff walk for Jones. And a breaking ball from Higgins is down low.
It's a lot to ask of this young man right here. If the Marlins are patient, he might put them in a position without even swinging the bat to win this ball game. It's 5 straight balls.
Well, you got some free swingers up there in Mathis and then Ozuna. At Chavarria, the inning progresses. Mathis into right field. That's a base hit. Jones to second. And Miami set up now. First and second. Now the Marlins bunted with Solano, but this is a very different situation. You've got Ozuna, who's not a skilled bunter up, and you've got Jones, who's not a fast runner at second.
A great point. All great points. This is a slider, a good pitch, but a solid swing by Jeff Mathis. Look how he stayed right on it. Didn't try to pull it.
So how do the Marlins play this?
I don't think you ask a guy who doesn't bunt very much and who can't bunt to do it in this situation.
Diamondback infield converges on Higgins.
Because here's another thing. If you do, and he's successful, what do? They walk the guy who's had the best swings tonight, Echeverria.
And that would bring up the pitcher spot, and then you'd be forced to bring Lucas in.
Then you'd bring Lucas in.
So let's see how it works. Higgins in the dirt, and it doesn't bounce away far enough. Jones holds second.
But it looks like Ozuna is going to swing the bat.
Yep.
Mathis holds first.
That just caught a piece of his right shoulder, the catcher there, or else that was heading to the backstop. That was a big play by Montero. Big block.
Ozuna walked his last time up. He's had better swings tonight than he's had all week. He snapped an 0 for 16 with a base hit in the 4th. And again, Higgins is down low.
And you have to, right now, if you're Ozuna, who's the pressure on right now? It's on that guy on the mound.
Yep.
Major League debut, a starter.
And he's not showing that he can handle it either, as well.
Starter in the minors, relieving here. And he's bounced 3 straight pitches to Ozuna.
You know, some people could say, what does Arizona have to lose? This is not a big game. This is a big game for that young man. He wants to go out there and have success. There's a lot of pressure on him. Being his first, like Rich touched on, this is a starter. Being asked to pitch in the 10th and 11th, 9th and 10th and 11th inning of a ball game that's tied for his first Major League appearance. It's not easy to do.
Echeverria's on deck. He has RBI hits in his last 2 at bats. There's a strike.
Doesn't have to be.
Well, let's see if he gets a fastball. Hagen's missed with 3 breaking balls. Cuts it. Look at that. That's on the black. That's a strike. Montero out for a talk. Seems like he's got good run on that pitch.
Yes. I think it's more the case that he's so anxious and so quick through his delivery, his arm's not catching up, so he's pushing the ball and it's just getting away from him because he's pushing him to the right side, he's yanking him to the left, the left-handed batter's box, and a lot of times that happens when you're too quick with your delivery.
And you got to think he's going to come with fastball to Ozuna.
Yep.
Jones at second, Mathis at first. 4-4, bottom 10, nobody out. 3-2. One in left center field.
Great.
That's a base hit. Ball game.
Nice.
Here comes Jones. Miami walks off.
Winner. Here the fans. Good time to get that hit. Good time to get that knock. Looks like a lot of fun out there, doesn't it?
And the Marlins, who lost 100 games last year in mid-August, are a game under 500 and hanging in the National League wild card race. They come from behind, down 3-0, and beat the Arizona Diamondbacks, opening up a 4-game series. Marcell Ozuna with a walk-off hit. And he blistered it. And it's great to see the Marlins need his bat, and they get it tonight. 2 hits tonight, including the game winner.
Good job.
The bullpen really did a heck of a job holding that game where it was.
He was ready for it. He knew he was going to get that fastball. 3-2. Terrific at bat by Marcell Ozuna to give the Marlins their 10th walk-off win and their 30th one-run win.
Incredible.
Tell you what, well earned by Mike Dunn is this win, his 10th of the season. It sets a franchise record for wins by a reliever. The bullpen of Chris Hatcher, A.J. Ramos, and Mike Dunn combined for 5 scoreless innings tonight. Let's go down to Craig Minervini. Craig?
All right, thank you very much. As Marcell Ozuna celebrating this great moment with the ball club. You're at bat, 9th inning. Boy, he wasn't throwing you much. What was it on that 2-0 pitch when it was in the dirt and you kind of bounced away?
Yeah, just then fuck him, then doing him like on purpose or throwing away, then I'm making some walks,
Yeah.
And then I got a 3-1, and I heard one of my teammates tell me, wait another one. And not be afraid, wait another one, and then get some stick and put it ready to hit to the middle.
So the 3-1 pitch you were going to take, you took?
No matter what, I'm going to take it no matter what.
Well, you had a great patience there, and then you were able to get that big hit. I know you've been slumping a little bit, and sometimes you just need a moment, and maybe it was right that you were in the spot to get the big hit here.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't a little slump, I kinda.
Woo! The ice bucket challenge. Wait, we'll just back up a little bit here. All right. Well, I'm going to stand.
Yeah.
And good shit. Did you get most of that?
A little bit behind me, on my back.
Feels good after a game-winning hit, but talk about what that meant to you, the game-winning hit.
Yeah, just trying to put the ball in play. I wasn't a little stuff and trying to pull. I don't know how, but I trying to put my mind right now and listen to the coach, the Menequino.
What did he tell you?
He tell me, don't pull. You have a fast hand. Turn to hit to the middle. Get jam, breaking back. You have to get out to the slump.
And you certainly did. Are you caught up in this playoff little excitement? The Marlins are still hanging in there, making a run. Do you look at the standings? Are you aware where you are?
Yeah, we trying to fight for making a playoff. We winning some games right now. I wasn't a little off. I think I come back again. I trying to help your team and doing the little things.
Let me ask you. You get the game-winning hit. What's that celebration like? The feeling when you get that big hit and you know your players, your teammates are going to come after you. Maybe we can take another look at it and you can tell us what this feels like to be the guy with the big hit.
Yeah, that's exciting, because I wait for that moment. Everybody trying be the hero, everybody trying to win the game, because that's a game like that, Everybody fun, everybody happy, everybody kiss me, everybody hit me, everybody throw me water, everything.
A lot of fun. Congratulations, Marcel. It's always fun to talk to you. And hey, your team is impressive here. Nice little run.
Yeah, that's good. Stanton and McGee, those guys, unbelievable, great season they have.
But Ozuna with a big one tonight. Way to go.
I come back.
He came back. Rich, up to you.
He certainly did. He came back with a big hit. And Miami walks off and wins it 5-4 the final. 3 hours and 31 minutes it takes. 17,000 were here. And the Marlins win it 5-4. That's right. Fish win it 1 under 500.